Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
Put on your uniform right.
Expert Action Badge.
Show up to work on time.
Expert Action Badge.
Qualify on your weapon.
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
Find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Bring your money, bring yourself, bring what you need, but don't you bring nobody else. There's something brewing they won't believe. The world ain't ready for what we have up our sleeve. I've said it once before, I'm sure I'll say it once again. I'm more than ready. Open up the window, let in the air. Throw up your hands and wave them like you just don't care. We're planning something, a big surprise. Our thunder lightning's gonna open up the sky. I've said it once before, I'm sure I'll say it once again. I'm more than ready. I'm ready. You'll find a warning, let's have some fun. Walk out the door and spend our day out in the sun. Nobody hurting, nobody scared. You really should come join the party if you dare. I've said it once before, I'm sure I'll say it once again. I'm more than ready. I've said it once before, I'm sure I'll say it once again. I'm more than ready. I'm ready.
And good evening, WTF Nation. What is going on? It is I, KJ, taking a break from packing and coming to deliver you Friday Night Freedom. With me tonight, I have the wonderful hootin' Mr. Owl. What's going on, Owl? Sorry.
Good to hear.
How you doing, Owl?
Good.
Sorry about that.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And I have with us, as always, for Friday Night Freedom, Pookie.
Hey.
What's up, Pook?
Not much. Same old, man.
Yeah, bro. God, it's been a while since I've been on here talking to you guys. How have y'all been? I know you're always in the chat, Owl, so I see you all the time.
Well, and that's just it. Keeping busy now that I'm co-hosting through everybody and trying to get things ready for this Sunday, and also doing what I do on the outside, which is also holistic fairs, being that I am an owl.
Hell yeah. What's been up with you, Pookie?
Oh shit, dude. Like I said, I try to live the hermit life, but the same old, man. Keeping away from the news, so don't agitate me, and I don't like have an aneurysm over the insanity that's been going on lately. But same old.
I mean, aneurysms are always fun for when we're live on the air. Just so long as we have enough tampons to plug our nose from the nosebleeds. Oh man, I've been packing nonstop. It's been nuts. I finally got my office packed up, and like this morning, it's like I'm going on walkabout. Okay, I'll take over. And as I start packing up my computer, I'm like, okay, time to unpack it all. Oh, dude. Oh God. Okay, so I want to ask you guys something because it's been a while. I didn't choose. You didn't. You don't choose the hermit life. The hermit life chose you. Hell yeah, Joe. Pookie, Joe saying the hermit life chose you, bro.
I guess whatever. I don't like people, so I mean it works out.
Okay.
I go with that one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be deadly serious. It's taco trucks went off the air. I've been going through some personal shit. I like to be transparent. So as I'm packing up my house and I'm getting ready to do this thousands of mile move, I find a box that I've been looking for ever since I moved into my house here in Tennessee. Like I've been looking for this box for 3 years, and you would think it'd have like important papers, right? Or it would have something really important. It's my box full of all my video game posters.
Yeah, I've got a few of those floating around.
3 years I've been looking for this box so I can properly decorate my office and have Master Chief and Stormtroopers and Vader and Boba Fett and all that. Right when I'm about to move, I find the box. So of course, right when I put it down, I mark it on all sides, video game posters. I put this box down, I walk away for maybe 10 minutes. It's gone. I asked my wife where she moved it. She has no clue. It's gone again.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, son of a bitch.
Irony.
And it doesn't just have posters in it. It's got like all my little action figure, like my Master Chief action figure, and like the sky. It's got Anduin from Skyrim, one of the statues. So it's got all these neat little knickknacks and stuff I've collected throughout the years. I'm just like, no, that's hundreds of dollars of collector shit that's not worth anything now. Where'd it go?
Nah.
Your wife,
That's like me. I wait every month for my loot crate to come in like a little fucking schoolgirl.
Oh, don't get me started on loot crates.
and your wife unconsciously just somehow managed to see it and disappear it.
Oh, I found it later. Like maybe 20 minutes ago, I found the box again. I found it again. It was just moved to the other side of the room, but still, it was just funny as hell that in a matter of 10 minutes of finding it, putting it in the needs to be loaded up pile, and walking away to go get me a glass of chocolate milk, it's gone. It was just, and then it's like other shit you find you know, the joys of moving. You find all the stuff you've been looking for the entire time you've been living somewhere. So like this one optic I have for a rifle that I've been looking for ever since I left Fort Campbell. And I've never been able to find my EOTech. Lo and behold, today, right there, plain as day, on my desk, sitting there right next to one of my monitors, my EOTech box. Jesus.
That's the way it always works, man. Like the things that you look for are always right there in front of your face. Like I've got the TBI thing, you know. So I walk around. I'll like be looking for my cell phone for like an hour, and I'll have it in my hand the whole time. You know, stupid shit like that.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't help that when you're in the middle of moving, it's stressful. So you're going to find the stuff you were looking for, and you're going to misplace the stuff just as quickly.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun part of moving.
And like it's like my father that left me under a rock to be raised by bald eagles and bears says moving is a great opportunity to throw shit away. Dude, I'm like going through and I'm looking at all the shit I've kept. I'm just like, why the fuck do I have 9 photo albums of me and my ex-wife still? Time to have a bonfire. It was a great night. Just fucking flinging them like fucking frisbees. It was fantastic.
Kind of empowering, huh?
No, it was fun. I mean, it wasn't empowering, but it was fun. You know what I mean? I remember this day. This is the day we argued about Chinese food, and you know, I remember this day. This is the day where I got so drunk that my best friend had to carry me home from the bar, of which you called me promptly at 7 a.m. because I sent you a text at 3 a.m. when I was leaving the bar to call me at 7 a.m. And you still did what drunk me told you to do. God damn it. And yes, I did put some up because I got a bunch of property, Joe. I got a bunch of property on my land, so I put them up, and I sat through with a lovely little AR and just went brat. You know, 1 + 1 is 2 + 1 is 3. Quick maths.
1 + 2 is 4 - 1 is 3. Quick maths.
Whatever. What the fuck ever, dude. Oh God. Man, so much has happened. So much has happened since I hopped off
Oh
the
man,
air.
you haven't had a good rant in a while, man. Like since the taco truck kind of
Well,
been decommissioned.
Well, let's get that elephant out of the room. So you know, if those of you that join me on WTF Nation Gaming, 6 + 9 = fun. Hell yeah, Joe. Those of you that joined me on WTF Nation Gaming, you know, it's you know, everyone's there to know that my father-in-law passed away, and when my father-in-law passed away, I had to you know, help take care of my wife and get things settled, and it's been frantic go since Valentine's Day in February when he first went to the hospital. So ever since he passed away, just before March started, and we've been frantic go because we gotta get up north to help our family. I've just been watching and watching and watching the news. Oh my God, Pookie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I kept saying to myself all day, I ain't gonna get triggered, but I'm gonna get triggered tonight. The triggering will happen.
Let the games begin.
Oh God, the fuck games. We don't need no house party. How'd that song go? We don't need no club because the party right here or something like that. I don't remember.
Well, you don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
Yeah, pretty much that thing. I don't know. I'm not hip anymore. I'm moving to New Hampshire, man. I'm not hip. I'm going to live outdoors and disappear for weeks on end.
That's the life, man.
Fuck yeah.
You'll get used to it really quick, man. I'm telling you.
What's up, Mikey? I haven't seen you in forever, dude. Mikey Everett in the Facebook chat. What is going down, fam? Ugh. Which reminds me, I should probably get that up and going so that being a badass. See, it's been so long. I forgot to pull up the live chat from Mixer. I feel sorry, Mixer guys. What's going down, fam? Oh Lord. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we had Parkland, and now everyone's going crazy about the Second Amendment, and everyone is losing their fucking minds on the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out something that I assume has been talked about on the show multiple times, but everyone has pointed out the First Amendment versus the Second Amendment argument, right? Like I'm assuming you've been there for an hour, Pookie, you've been there, etc.
Oh yeah.
So have we all seen that new video that's like the veterans against, the veterans like I was a 88.
Oh yeah.
I was a 13 November. I was a 69 SEAL Navy operator. Shit like that, right?
With the shitty background of them looking at like they're in bombed out fucking Baghdad or some shit.
Looks like they're in fucking little Ramadi of fucking Detroit or something. I don't know. But I'm listening to all of them, and like the Navy SEAL guy that's there's like SEAL Team 1, or I think it was Team 1. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, you know, fuck yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm looking forward to this, and I watched that without any tagline. Like there's nothing about it telling me what the video was. They're like, my service weapon was an M4. Okay, good. Mine was an M16. Oh no, I know where this is going. And it's, you know what? It is like an AR. It is an AR-15. I'm like, okay. And of course, Angry Cops put out a response video, which was hilarious. I love Joel Sarnhigh. And then you had fucking Mr. Obnoxious, I think he's National Guard, and he put out a response video, and it's fucking hilarious. And of course, everyone is literally, that I've been watching that's in the veteran community, ripping apart this video because you are the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen. But then it got me thinking, other than the factual part of it, which is an AR-15 is not an M4, you know, due to first of all, the semi-automatic thing, why are we descending upon those that are exercising their First Amendment right of free speech, which doesn't protect them from the consequences? Once again, they're being stupid. They said something stupid. They're getting treated stupidly. But why are we taking the stance of combative and not educational? That's my question. Every time we've had a shooting, it's always been combative. It's always been combative. It's always done. It was Vegas. They're going to take our guns. They're going to take our guns. No, fuck you. You know what you're talking about your guns. And there's nothing for educational.
Well, and that's just it. If you get into educational, at that point, who wins, who loses?
No one. Everybody wins and everybody loses with educational.
Exactly. And that's the point, is the ones who want to take guns, they don't want to lose, and the ones who want to keep guns, they don't want to lose. So they can't come together. It's next to impossible because of the climate of extremism.
Now, as we know, that's a very small minority, right? Like, we know that's a small minority.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have 99% of America screaming, take the guns away.
No. Most of the people who are doing this, one, are either paid, or two, are sheep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll beat it down, and it follows, like we said, it's this media narrative that you don't. When is the last time you seen kids out there protesting? Yeah, I want my second. They get shuffled to the side, so it's a directive narrative right now. And that's why the First Amendment thing, like you were saying earlier, like, why are we bashing them? I mean, well, if you're going to use your First Amendment right to stifle another right, then I'm going to use my First Amendment right to call you a fucking idiot.
Exactly. Like, there was I'm gonna throw this out there in the ether, and someone steals it, I don't give a fuck. But there was an idea I had, which at first it seems like a great idea, but it was, the issue everyone's having is school shootings, right? Everyone's having an issue with school shootings. All the kids are freaking out about school shootings these days. You know, 9-year-olds are getting their 30-something-year-old parents to turn in their firearms because, Daddy, I don't want to live in a house with guns. So,
well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah. So my solution was start up a company that focused exclusively on whatever's going on in the world. So for right now, it's school shootings. What's the best way to handle a school shooting? Well, it's been proven: run, hide, fight. That's what you do in a school shooting. You run, you hide, you fight. If you can run, you run. If you can hide, you hide. If you can't hide and you can't run, you fight. And you've got numbers. And he only has, we'll say, 100 rounds in that magazine. And by the way, we're going off of donkey nuts on an AR-15 here, by the way. But by the way, the only dangerous part of that weapon is the very open hole point. So, hey, you've got 30 of you. Let's get 30 hands or 15 hands, one hand per person, holding that fucking muzzle, getting third-degree burns instead of getting bullet holes in their body, and putting that thing either up in the sky or down at the floor. And teaching kids, and then teachers, and then parents, and then school administrators, and so on and so forth, the whole chain of things, to teach them how to handle X situation, Y situation, Z situation.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with that, though, man. But the thing about it is no one wants to do it. Everyone keeps sticking their head in the sand, like, no, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. But the reality, and it's like people deny reality and factual information these days. And the reality is, this shit's happening. It is fucking happening. So you've got to like you said, educate. Teach these kids, like, hey, when this happens, this is what you do. These are the procedures that need to happen. Not that once a year, hide under your desk and turn the lights off. Crap.
My next door neighbor, they have a, because I live in a duplex. My next door neighbor, their oldest is 17. And he came over to my house, my side of the house. He came over, knocked on the door, said, hey, could you teach me some things that would, I'm worried about, someone coming to my school with a weapon. And I'm like, well, is someone going to? He said, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, but if it ever did? And I just showed him the simplest thing. If you can run, run. If you can hide, hide. But if you can't, and there's no way to block the door completely, and you have to fight him, then you get on the open side of the door. You don't get on the back side. You get on the open side of the door. You take a knee. You get low. And when he comes in with that weapon, you slam into him full fucking force, full fucking speed. You grab that barrel, and this is the last thing you do. This is your last resort. There is nothing. You try to run and hide before that. And if you can't run and hide, that's when you fight. And I sat there and emphasized and went over the fucking NRA teaching and the FBI HRT teaching and all that shit they put out there. That's the free resources and what they say to do and how they say to do it. And I taught this 17-year-old that, this is the absolute dead last thing to do. Guess what? The kid feels fucking safe. Then I have 5 of his fucking friends coming over that are asking, "Hey, what did you show?" And I'm not technically, I'm not an officer of law. I'm not in the FBI. I'm not anything. But it's like, it's common sense to me. You grab that barrel and you get the fuck out of there. And I got these 5 kids that came over and asked me, "What the fuck do I do?" And I'd say, "Oh, there's a need for this." And it's not just with fucking firearms too. Look at, I hate to cross the fucking lake here. But let's go to fucking England for a second. But now they have the knives only movement.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Or no more knives. Or whatever it's called. Or it's hashtag no more knives. Right?
So how are they going to cut their steak?
Exactly.
No, they're literally arresting people with box cutters in their pocket. Like, if you're caught with a box cutter in your pocket, you're going to get a suspended jail sentence.
But now they're pushing out an advert that says, oh God, I wish I could find it. I'm not going to sit there and type on my loud-ass mechanical keyboard. But basically, it's an advert that says, "This is Chris. Chris used to be a daily knife carrier. But then, one day, he almost lost his life." Well, they also gave Chris's last name, so I kind of decided to Google search him real quick. And lo and behold, like 3 years ago in 2014, when he stopped carrying knives, you want to know how he almost lost his life? He slit his own fucking wrists. He tried to commit suicide.
Oh, God.
So they spin his suicide attempt into there was a dangerous knife and he stopped carrying a knife because knives were so dangerous. And I'm sitting there going, you're fucking retarded, England. Meanwhile, you're arresting people left and right for putting out Twitter posts that fucking, offend people when offense and comedy are so fucking closely related. God damn it, y'all got me triggered, and it hasn't even been a half hour yet.
I was about to say, Count Dankula's instance right there, man. That shit, oh my God. I was dying when I saw that. I was like, literally, seriously, like, stop. Like, y'all just need to stop.
But this, like, ignoring fucking England and their stupidity, because if we go further into that, I will never recover from the aneurysm, and I don't have enough fucking Indian hair tampons to stick up my nose. So... back to fucking United States. Like, Joe's sitting there saying a school in Hampton, Georgia, made students write to lawmakers asking for stricter gun control. Oh my fucking...
Did you say school made them?
A school
Is that what he
them.
said?
Yeah.
So these kids didn't have a choice about it. It was like a homework assignment.
It's brainwashing at its best.
And then let's get to the champions of this movement. Oh, let's get to Sinead O'Connor, also known as Emma Gonzalez. Or it's Emma Gonzalez. It's just everyone assumes that she's Sinead O'Connor, but it's Emma Gonzalez because I don't believe this whole fucking crisis actor thing. Too much fucking circumstantial evidence and not enough fucking hard. But Emma.
Oh well, I mean, they got the videos proving that that was his fucking face. Hog was lying. Hog face was fucking lying about everything.
That I fucking fully believe. He said one thing to one company, he said another to another. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. But like Emma Gonzalez and David Hogg. Let's start with Emma Gonzalez, shall we? Let's start with this fucking bald-headed.
You saw the newest speech, right?
Oh my God! You didn't know this kid. He was weird.
Yeah, she was bullying him.
The fuck is wrong with you? I mean, okay, we're gonna structure this. First, we're gonna talk about the shitbags. Then we're gonna talk about Mikey. He's brought up a good topic. So do you think that confiscation will happen? And we'll hit that soon. But oh man, you bullied the kid that eventually came in with an AR-15 because he was weird, and you're surprised that he did it.
Well, she even said she wasn't surprised.
No, I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying
that it's gun's fault, not her fault.
Yeah, I'm not saying like she was like, oh wow, like she wasn't surprised he did. I'm just saying you're surprised at the outcome.
Oh, no,
I meant
there's
it
no
generally.
direct correlation with cause and effect anymore. That's what the issue is.
And like I'm gonna be honest here. When I was in high school, yeah, I got picked on. Sure as shit. I mean, I picked on people myself. But I'm in the same generation as these kids. That's the fucking horrifying thing. I'm in the same generation as these kids, and fucking, we still like back at Dunedin High School where I went to high school. Fuck my Persac. I don't give a shit. Come find me. Moving to New Hampshire, Joe and I'll be drinking beers outside. Fucking, there was bullying, there was hazing, but there was a point. Like there was kids that, like, if it got too bad, they would sit down like, hey, we gotta talk, and then no one ever says that at my high school. What's wrong? You're going a little hard on me, man. It's not just fucking playful or anything now. It's fucking heartful, and it's fucking with my head. Dude, I'll stop, man. Not a problem. I'm glad you came to me. We'd acted like fucking adults. And that's the horrifying thing. My generation, you have my end, which is the 26-year-olds, the very top end of this fucking generation, 25, 26, 27, that fucking did that and were like, okay, we're being a shitbag. And then you have the fucking bottom end of my generation, which is the 16, 17, 18-year-olds, that he was weird. We had to bully him.
Well, they have the politics of insects. I say that all the time. These kids, the infants, all of them, they've got zero. I mean, when I was growing up in school, if you legitimately were bullying someone, you were gonna get knocked out by someone.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that. Someone was going to step up and defend someone. Nowadays, kids can't do that because if they do it, they get charges pressed. There's civil suits, the whole 9 yards.
It's men not being allowed to be men in one sentence. It's women not allowed to be women. That's not a statement on trans or any of that shit before anyone goes there. But it's fucking, people are not allowed.
Triggered.
People aren't. Take your fucking trigger and shove it inside a lower receiver. But fucking, people are not allowed to explore being a kid. You have to know what you're going to fucking be at 16, 17 years old, or else you're not a successful young adult. You have to know if you're going to college. You have to know if you're going to the military. You have to know what you're doing with your life at 16, 17 years old. I'm 26. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing with my life.
I was about to say, dude, I'm in my 30s and I still haven't figured myself out yet. So I don't know.
Fucking, I think the only one here that has any inclination of like got anything figured out, and even then he's gonna contradict me immediately, is fucking Owl. Like he's the closest one. Like, I got shit figured out, but figured out just enough for me. I'm good. I know how to get myself centered. I'm good.
But see, what it took to get there was the path that you're going through, except for you're going through it through your generation. My generation and your generation are so interesting in difference and the way we grew up and how you're going to get there. I feel bad for you because at least my generation, the idea was it wasn't always about success monetarily. It was success in you. In other words, you could find something to be proud of. I mean, you could be proud of the fact, I'm proud of the fact, my son, I raised him right. That's something to be proud of. I was a good parent. I was there for him. I was able to give him what he needed. I was there as a parent. I wasn't his friend. I was a parent. That type of thing, the difference between your generation and my generation, the likenesses and differences, I feel bad for you only in the fact they're trying to take away your identity. At least I was allowed to be a man. Okay? I could sit there and thump my chest and say, fuck it, come here, woman. And the most I'd get is a woman going, fuck off, instead of from everybody.
Do you want to have a laugh at what I've been doing recently? Like, you guys will sit there and go, oh my God. But every time, so bartending, all right? Bartending.
Yep.
Every time I check an ID, I refer to whatever the gender is on the ID. Irregardless. Sir, ma'am. Every time. Period and quote. And one of my bosses has sat there and said, what are you doing? And I'm like, referring to them as, sir or ma'am. And he goes, but they're obviously a woman. Like, no, their ID says man. So they're a sir. And you can't do that! Where? Show me where. Please show me where. Please. And I left this place very promptly after that. He's like, well, it says here that you can't do that under this, and this. I'm like, but none of. I'm sorry, BuzzFeed isn't fucking law, you fucking twat waffle.
Well, that goes back to social justice rather than justice.
And it's like Owl. I used to be in law programs for school. I was huge into law. I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I realized I fucking hate school. So of course,
you both.
So of course,
wow.
like this manager's railing at me for hours the entire night. I told him I'm going to finish out my shift, but if you don't stop talking to me, you keep coming at me like this, you're going to hear from a lawyer. And he goes, "What are you going to hear from here? Why am I going to hear from a lawyer?" Workplace discrimination based off the Tennessee State Code of as well as also, by the way, you denied me time off for a religious holiday, which is a high holy day, and by the way, you've openly stated on camera, on video, which I have gotten the recordings of, that you are against the gays, against the Jews. Oh, by the way, I'm Jewish, and I just went fucking all out. And he's like, but those are my opinions, bitch. You're fucking what you say.
It's a one-way street with them, man. That's
what
where it
you
works.
say has consequences. Like, you can't see it, but I'm wiggling my fingers like a magician. Like, what you say has consequences, and the First Amendment doesn't protect you from them. You fucking cunt. Oh, which? Okay, we're gonna stay on this fucking line of First Amendment has consequences. So she admits to bullying the kid.
She be what's it, accessory to murder?
Hold on. I have a friend of mine here that's part of TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, FBI, pretty much. You know, and I'm talking to him like, she admitted to committing a crime, and he's like, "Yup," and I'm like, "So?" He said, "Yup." And I'm like, "Really?" And he says, "Nope, but that'd be fucking great if it happened." And we've been talking about it back and forth for you know, since the on-air thing. And it's just been an entire time of, she admitted to a crime, and she admitted to it. Like, she admitted to hazing and bullying and technically that's assault in Florida. That's assault. What she did was assault. And she's 17, and because of
harassment.
Harassment, that's another one. You know, that's a misdemeanor, but I'm going for felonies. It was assault, but because of her actions, she caused him to lose enough mental faculty that he thought this was a viable option. She can be held accountable for that.
Yeah, like I said, an accessory to murder, right?
Not accessory to murder, but it can be used as evidence against her in a harassment or an assault case, and there you go. You get 5 to 10 years in jail. See, you're what you say. Your words have consequences, and you're not protected from the consequences, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. And it's my buddy in TBI is like, yeah, we if she was here in Tennessee, I would go to my superior and ask, can I pursue this? Can I investigate this? Now she's not. She's in fucking Florida, but still, there's that option. I hope if someone here is listening from Florida Bureau of Investigation, you know, you've got that opportunity, buddy, friend, pal. You know, on a lighter note, when I learned that other states have their own bureaus of investigation as, like, you know, subdivisions of the FBI, it just tickles me pink that there is these really weird acronyms for them. Like, you have TBI for Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and California Bureau of Investigation, CBI, and et cetera. But then you've got, like, New Hampshire Bureau of Investigation. It just sounds weird. You know? It just doesn't flow right. It doesn't roll off the tongue like Federal Bureau of Investigation. Oh, who do you work for? I work for the New Hampshire Bureau of Investigation. Wow, that's a fucking mouthful.
That's what you get when you go to a state that has too many words.
Even better, I wrote it out and I figured out that's only missing like 4 letters out of the entire alphabet.
Moving.
You know, when I'm not sitting here shooting people in Far Cry that I don't have yet. Hodor, buy me Far Cry.
Shit, I still don't have it yet. I was jealous the other night watching them play.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you this. So of course, with an emergency move funds have to get reallocated. So I reallocated all my pre-orders. I canceled them all, including Far Cry 5, which is okay. Shit happens. But I still want to play the fuck out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So as I'm sitting there, every time I get online with Hodor in Discord from WTF Nation Gaming, I'll sit there and be like, hey, Hodor, where's my copy of Far Cry 5? Oh, it's right in the mail, man. My buddies I play Arma with, that I play Arma 3 with, we have an Exile server, which is a survival server, and they renamed an item in it that is no longer a magazine. It was a magazine called, like, Better Prisoners for Exile. But instead, they renamed it Far Cry, Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Primal, and Far Cry 5. So I'm getting fucked with everywhere now.
I know my old guys that I used to game with a lot before I moved out to bumfuck Egypt. We kept like a kind of like a community pool for like when issues like that happened. We'd be like, you can take from the community pool, but you damn well better put back to it when. Maybe you get your chance to.
That's what we have in several of the video game communities I play with. I don't ever take from them. I always donate. And yes, Joe, I'm throwing your state out there a lot because I'm moving there. I'm moving to New Hampshire. My wife is from New Hampshire, so I'm moving to New Hampshire, and I'm like, yeah, I get to be in the woods and the forest and the mountains, and I realize, oh God, I'm a Florida boy. I get to be in the winter.
Yes, you do.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you'll enjoy it, man. You'll enjoy it.
I mean, I was born in New York. I know what nor'easters and winter up north is like, but I was born on Long Island, so the snow melted in like a week. New Hampshire, it's going to be like, oh, wow, this is up to my chest.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to snowboarding and learning how to ski and fresh snow cones and stuff like that, Monday
You're moving north, and I'm moving my ass down south, and I don't do well in the heat, and so I don't know.
I'm trying to coerce. I'm trying to coerce my brothers that are all in Florida. I'm trying to coerce them to come up north 1 year for winter, and they're all Florida boys, like all of them. And they're like, yeah, that sounds wonderful. Like, that sounds so great, hanging out in the snow. And I'm sitting there going, you don't have clothes warm enough for -degree weather.
That, and after the first snow and you got to go shovel it, yeah, it's not so much fun.
See, don't have a problem with that because we, my wife's from one of the main families in New Hampshire, which Joe knows what I'm talking about. And like, there's oh hey, we've got a plow, we've got this, we have this. No, we got people that can do this, we got people that can do this. I feel like I'm married in the mafia. Like I dropped my wife's name in a job interview for up there, and all I gotta do is walk through the door and I have it. I'm like, huh, this is nice.
Wow.
It was kind of the same way up in Pennsylvania when I was growing up. Like if you didn't have the ability to like shovel, like someone would come by and just do your yard, like do your stuff, like snowblower, come with a snowblower and do it for you real quick. Like here you go. The sidewalk needs cleared by law. We do it for the elderly because they can't do it, so they don't get fined. Stupid crap like that.
Now, at one point here, now going back to bring this full circle to fucking gun control, my wife and I were looking to move to Bradford, Vermont, which is right there on the New Hampshire-Vermont border. Joe knows what I'm talking about. And lo and behold, as I'm talking about that, as we're looking at Vermont, literally the next day, article pops up on my Facebook from CNN about Joe. Sorry, you didn't pass this, Joe. But about how Vermont passed a new gun ban. No assault rifles, 10-round magazines. It's like the New York Safe Act. And I'm just sitting there, just okay. I guess Vermont's off the table. We're just gonna stay in New Hampshire because, I go to Vermont with any of that stuff and I'm fucked. Half my arsenal has to get turned in.
Yeah, I don't understand these regulations. I don't even see how they're like legal. Honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I live in Washington State of all places, and they're trying their hardest to. Two cities are basically trying to rule the rest of the state.
Well, I mean, it's like the same. Like I was about to say, California is a majority red state. It's just controlled by like 2-3 small, very areas.
Yeah, well, Los Angeles has population density, And so they have a lot of fucking representatives. Then you have fucking San Diego, San Francisco, Sacramento. You know, you have these major Mets in California. And
Well, I think it brings it back to, like, I think me and you talked on Taco Truck like way, way back, and I said the way to solve this, we were talking about electoral college, I think.
Mhm.
The way to solve these issues would to be like any city with a certain population that swings so many votes for representation should automatically become its own district with its own representation away from the state.
yeah, it's
I agree with that. That would actually give power back to the people who really are irritated.
yeah. I mean, and I think, like, Mikey brought up confiscation, and we'll get to that. We're not going to it right now, but we'll get to that.
No.
But if you had districts like what Pookie was saying, and you can make district-based policies that are within the state policy, which is what we have now. We have city policies are within state policies, are within federal policy. But if you can base it on district instead of city, that means that people can have a broad area to move to or work in that'll suit them and their needs. You know, for example, if hypothetically Los Angeles versus, we'll say, fucking Jonestown, California, which is a made-up city I made. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid there either, or shooting senators. No one got that joke. God damn. There he goes. He's like, wait a minute.
Sorry, I work on an Lloyd fuse, so I mean.
Yeah, it's if you have a district like Los Angeles, we'll say in this example, that is purely Democrat in political, and votes Democrat and is Democrat, then you know what you're getting into, and that allows that district to make it as strict as they want within the confines of the state law. Whereas the next, 2 or 3 areas over, you have Jonestown, California, hypothetical name, that is, home to 25 different gun ranges. By the way, Beretta just built a factory. Once again, if it's within state law, great, but you keep those districts the same size. You don't have the gerrymandering where districts can be redrawn and remade and all that bullshit. Jesus, Mikey, don't throw up halfway through your bottle. And, yeah, I remember that. Like, David Sedano, I see you. You live in central New York. Your governor only cares about New York City. I lived in New York during 9/11. I lived in New York during Giuliani and Bloomberg. And, yeah, Giuliani and Bloomberg, yeah, there's a lot of focus on New York City because that's where the majority of the population is.
That's where the votes are at, man. That's what I was saying. If New York was its own district, the District of New York City, like they do in D.C., the District of Columbia.
Oh, you're talking like that.
Yeah, separate them into their own little. I mean, it sounds like gerrymandering, but it's not really because they have the population they can pull from the states. They can pull the representatives from the states at that point. But the states, the people who don't live in a heavy populated area, like. Yeah, they have their representation as well because it's not fair for one city to swing an entire New York. You said New York, for instance.
New York, California.
New York is like if you look at the map of New York. Same with Pennsylvania. If you look at Pennsylvania, New York, it's majority red.
Not only let's just not look at. Hold on, let's just not focus on California, New York, Texas.
Washington State, same thing.
Texas is incredibly red, incredibly Republican.
Until you get to Houston or Austin.
Austin isn't. The cities of them aren't. They're very Democrat. Parts of Dallas are very blue. And I see what you're saying now. If you make it like the District of Columbia, where you have the District of Los Angeles and the we'd run out of room for.
They have the ability to regulate themselves, just like the District of Columbia does. They have within their state, like you said, within the state's constitution pretty much at that point. You're in our state. You have to follow these certain rules, but you can make whatever regulations you feel that is necessary to keep yourself safe. But they don't apply to the rest of the state.
Yeah.
See,
they only apply to your district.
That would be wonderful for us. Washington State, there's only two cities that cause this problem, Seattle and Olympia. Everybody else doesn't want anything to do with it.
I live in Nashville, and Nashville is 4 years ago when I started playing around here, and now, oh my fucking god, hell no, hell to the no. I would gladly go back 4 years ago because now it's so blue. It used to be purple, and it used to be everyone had common sense, but over the past 3 months after all the shootings and everything. Oh my god. Do you know
Well,
what?
and
Okay, do you want to hear some bullshit?
go for it.
I went to an airsoft shop 2 weeks ago. I went to go get something fixed for one of my airsoft guns because I like to shoot 12-year-olds in the face. It brings me joy. So I'm going to get something fixed, and there is a police officer sitting outside of the shop. Not like out in front, but like by the entrance. So of course, I have my airsoft toy, my fucking airsoft rifle, in a gun box. He sees me drive in with it propped in the back of my vehicle. No mistaking what it is. He had to have seen me pull it in to the facility, bring the box in. There's no way he could have missed it. As I'm pulling out, sirens go off. He's behind me, pulls me over. What you got in that case? It's an airsoft rifle. Bullshit, I think you're trading real weapons. Bitch, please, you got a fucking airsoft shop right fucking there where they sling BBs.
Bitch, please, where's the warrant? Because you ain't searching my shit.
Oh no. I told them flat out. I'll pull that case out for you, but only if you take 5 steps away from my car. It goes, why? It's like, because I don't
I'd be
trust
like, you got no, I don't hell to the no. I'd be like, you're getting a search warrant. I'm gonna make you look like a dumbass.
They had a fucking dude had me fucking dead to rights in like an hour. He kept me detained for an hour, and they had a fucking warrant for my vehicle within an hour. Which then they opened that shit up, and during that entire fucking time, the warrant. By the way, the warrant was only for the rear, the passenger area of the vehicle. So when we went to go open up my trunk, I said, no, that isn't covered by your warrant. If you open up my trunk, I will sue you.
No, that's like those are instances where you need to be a dickhead.
Oh no, and the best part, his fucking lieutenant came and like just started ripping him a new asshole. What the fuck are you doing? The kid came from a fucking airsoft store. Well, yeah, but he had a weapons case. There's an airsoft store right there.
God forbid you would have stepped out without it in the case.
Oh no, that's so fucking. No one does that. Even fucking 8-year-olds that are just getting into the sport. Like, I have gone out of my way and bought them like $60 or $70 gun bags. That'll fit the size of their whatever they just bought. Their mom bought and they were about to leave. I'm like, no, don't leave yet with just like that. Hold on, let me get you a gun bag. Because it's just you don't want it. No, you start
like
off
that
young.
Cartoon where they were talking about I bought an airsoft pistol and I was the coolest kid on the block, and next thing you know, everyone had machine guns.
Yeah.
And little Tommy got distracted and was downtown like pointing the gun at people.
Don't get me started on fucking airsofting. I've got so many fucking stories and legal shit. Like the Republican National Convention of 2012 was in Tampa, Florida. I had to drive past the Republican National Convention from my field that I was working at in Tampa to my home in St. Petersburg. I had to drive past Tropicana Field. There was no way around it. So as I get pulled over, because of course I have just stacks and stacks and stacks of boxes in my car, of gun boxes, stuff I'm taking home to work on. One of the officers is someone who plays there that pulls me. I was like, oh, okay, it's you, KJ, no big deal. You doing good? Yeah, I'm doing good. And some fucking rookie has no clue what the fuck he's doing. He's all kitted out and looks fucking soldiered. He's like, oh my fucking god, because they started pulling out some of the stuff I had there to see what I was going to work on. And this kid had a really nice M14 replica. And real wood, it was beautiful. And fucking this guy, just fucking rookie dude, just like, get the fuck on the ground! Get the fuck on the ground! There's an officer handling the toy. It's a fucking toy. It's bright fucking orange barrel and tip. But of course, I got on the ground because I'm not going to argue with a cop and end up the next fucking, part of the next Me Too campaign.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah,
I want
we
to
got
talk
that
about
off your chest.
confiscation. Paintball is not better, Mikey. I want to talk about confiscation before we go on break. Actually, no, we'll say that for after break. You know what I want to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the greatest thing I ever watched regarding this whole gun thing with David Hogg, which is someone did a jib jab. Like, you remember the jib jab videos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Someone took his face and made a parody video of I like big butts.
Oh, God.
And it's fucking great. If I find it, I'll post it in the office chat. But if I'll find it again, I'll post it in the office chat. But it's a video of I like big butts with his face jib jabbed. But instead of it saying I like big butts, it's like, I like to deny your rights whenever I can. No guns for Americans. Because when you walk in with an AR-15, I see something that's mean and I get sprung. And I get up on a stage yelling about my rage. I may not be saluting, but Hitler is definitely doing what I want. It's just like, oh my god, bro. You just went fucking nuts. It's like they have his whole thing, and like he goes from like normal school clothes to like fucking SS uniform. Then back to normal school clothes. And it's just fucking... David Hogg. Oh my god. He looks like a fucking troll that should have gotten aborted twice.
I don't know, man. But if my arms were that skinny, I would definitely want to have an AR-15 in my closet.
Well, he looks like one of those kids that got picked on.
David Hogg looks like the kind of kid that when they get done with fucking wrestling in their gym class, he's the one that gets hit with all the wet towels as he's walking his way to the showers, and then they have fucking, like, they private pile him with fucking soap in the sock while he's in the bathroom. Like,
yeah, all right. That's a good description.
Yeah. Like, I can see him being Private Pile. Gomer Pyle. That's who I can see him being. And then he wants to run for Senate. Was it Senator or the House of Representatives?
That's the new thing now.
Yeah, like didn't fucking what's his bitch boy Bradley Manning fucking want to do that?
Yeah, that's the thing. The minute, I mean, even was it the hooker of to Trump, Stormy
Daniels.
Yeah, she's now talking about trying it again.
Fuck yeah, I'm all for a porn star going in a fucking Senate. First of all, C-SPAN will get a hell of a lot more interesting to watch with Stormy Daniels representing California. And,
oh, God.
And second of all, it's not a white-collar trade. I'm all for blue-collars getting in there. Strippers, fucking electricians, former soldier, it'd be fucking great, and it sounds fucking retarded, but I thought about it, and I thought it'd be fucking hilarious. But if you served like a 2-year, you could have an enlistment term of like 2 years, right? Which is fucking absolutely retarded. But then, like, how do you make that better? Oh, that's right. You have them serve 2 years working at the House of Representatives or the Senate as well. Just have them do that. And that balances it out. So you get both sides of the stupidity. And that would solve a lot of fucking problems.
I don't want a bunch of privates running around trying to dictate shit, man.
No. You're not senators. You're not senators or fucking congressmen.
Oh, I thought that's what you're saying, man. I was like, that would be a fucking shit show, man.
You'd be working for them, and then we would have a bunch of fucking, at that point, 2 years, let's say POCs, bunch of POCs, maybe some specialists that fucking go in there, work their 2 years in Senate or Congress, and then they get out like, oh my fucking God, what is going on with our government? And then we get our own Starship Trooper-style government where a bunch of veterans take over and they form this amazing oligarchy, and then, service guarantees citizenship, and, I can live out my dreams of going to hunt bugs on Clendathu.
There you go.
Didn't the Romans do that? Like, if you served so long, you became a citizen?
If you were already a citizen, you got plots of land and a whole bunch and a stipend. If you were not a citizen, I don't remember what they were called, but if you were not a citizen, you served 35 years, like you served till you were 35, then you got a plot of land. You were declared a citizen of Rome. A whole slew of good fucking benefits. Goddamn! Vote for Spanky 2020. Spanky Secretary of Snacks.
Okay.
And yeah, I would totally vote for Ron Jeremy. Like, make no mistake, if he ran for fucking Congress or Senate, I would vote for Ron Jeremy because he would just sit there and be like, is this going to fuck me? He would just sit there, and everyone would sit there and be like, oh my God, did he just say that? He's like, no, is this going to fuck me? And he would mean it literally, and then, it would just liven up C-SPAN.
Just don't know, man. The way the politics have been going the last couple of months, man, I've always been like kind of self-centered in the side of the road kind of thing, but I've just seen them like, it's like I'm watching the highways separate further and further. I'm just standing here like, What the fuck is going on?
I'm not gonna lie, Rand Paul has made my night multiple times. Like I'll watch highlights of C-SPAN.
Dude, oh yes, that dude, he's my hero up there right now.
8,000. This is an 8,000 page omnibus bill. I'm gonna read it all for my filibuster, bro. Bro.
Yeah, oh, bro, man.
Fucking, that's just.
And he'll do it too. That's the sad part about it. No, I
He'll do
don't want
it.
to say it's sad. It's a good thing. He'll sit there and do that shit. He'll stand there for freaking 2 days talking if he had to.
I'm expecting him, like, as he gets older and if he gets reelected and keeps staying in Congress, I expect him to start doing those things in more and more ridiculous outfits. Like, first it's going to start with suit and tie, 3-piece. Eventually he's going to put on, like, a Groucho Marx fucking mustache and fucking nose. You know, then eventually he's gonna have like a fucking multicolored tie.
The Monopoly man outfit.
Yeah, he's gonna have a top hat, Groucho Marx eyeglasses, and mustache and nose, and then he's gonna have like one of those clown rainbow colored ties. Then the next day he's not wearing shoes, he's wearing fucking flippers for diving. Just seeing how far he could push fucking dress attire in Congress.
But what you were saying is right. More and more, that's the kind of what I've been trying to boost out there is we need to police up ourselves as enlisted soldiers for one reason. We don't mind serving our country. We need to get guys back into Congress, back in the Senate. Not the officers, but the enlisted, the ones who actually know what it's like to care about people.
I'm not gonna lie. I say that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Of course I'm not. I'm fucking retarded. So I was trying to get into ROTC this semester, as Pookie knows and Spanky knows, and the whole audience knows. I don't want to see any of those fucking kids from there. There were out of the class of 160 total. 4 of them, I trust would have the common sense to know what to do. Which 9 times out of 10 would be refer to someone who knows what to do. Trust your first sergeant, trust your platoon sergeant, trust your sergeant major, whatever. Refer to that guy that's been in for 30, 40 years. What the fuck do I do here? And it's just.
I always said that age before beauty, man.
Well, and
stop ostracizing Mustangs.
That's why I say we need to get our ranks, the enlisteds, doing better and get us going and serving and getting back into office like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
Just at that point. I mean, think about having a bunch of retirees, or not even retired people, guys like you have served. You've got common sense. Even if you're Democrat, you've got enough common sense after being enlisted that you're not so far to the left that you can't come in and talk.
Yeah, but I can play devil's advocate with this, right? As like most of me, man. I did 10 years. I was burned out, dude, from the stupidity.
Well, it's not, but that's just it. If we can get enough of us going, the stupidity goes bye-bye.
You got to think
Because
a lot of the.
How many people are going to run against someone who can come up and say, "I served, I did this, What the fuck have you been doing?"
Okay. I'll tell you right now. I got 2 gentlemen. Here in Nashville, I got 2 people running for my area's juvenile court. One of them is my previous lawyer for my divorce. The other one is a veteran. The veteran, prior service, he was a Mustang. He went from infantry to judge advocates. Went into law in the military, transferred over, got out of the military, went into law in the civilian world. Successful lawyer, and he has sat on the bench temporarily when other judges have had things come up. It happens. My old lawyer for my divorce actively took money, not during my case, but in another case, actively took money from the opposite party to not put things in the presentation of evidence, and she got away with it. And guess who's winning? My old divorce.
The corrupt politicians?
My old divorce lawyer. Why? Because she has a lot more money than the fucking veteran.
That's
why
why
I
we need
say
to get rid of
kick a
that
lob-
shit.
kick a
That's
lobbyist in the
that's
balls.
the downfall of our government right now is lobbying.
It's
Oh, yeah.
I cannot say it enough. Kick a lobbyist in the balls because they are the fucking skirt. Now, don't get me wrong. We need lobbyists, but we need responsible lobbyists. You need a lobbyist to push something for whatever it is. You know, if you need money for something, the lobbyist will have money for whatever.
Lobbyists are there to bring attention
Yep.
to things that are forgotten.
But the
I
problem
understand
is
that,
there's a
but
lobbyist for
isn't
fucking
it your
everything.
job as a representative to listen to your constituents about what their issues are?
Bingo. Exactly.
Do you know what? Okay, so there was I don't remember what year. It was sometime in like the 70s or 80s. But some town hired a lobbyist. They hired a lobbyist for their town. They shouldn't have to do that
No.
because their lobbyist is their representative.
Yeah, you have to pay your representatives. There's an issue. There's
Yeah.
a big issue.
Well,
I
but
mean,
that's
they
just
paid
it.
him $1 a day, but it was still, dude. You know,
It's gotten out of hand, and you're right. What we need to do is we need to pull everybody out. Just simply say term limits, all of you all out. We got to send in everybody new, and hopefully at that point you put things down like, okay, we're going to do a little bit more watch on who's on the take. I mean, it's idealistic in thinking, but quite honestly, that's why I say service members. How many of us would, if we were asked to serve, would serve honestly because we love our country?
a lot. And with that being said, hold on, Cookie. That being said, that's a good question. And I want y'all to think about it because we're going to go on break and we're going to come back and we're going to revisit that and then we're going to go right into confiscation. You know, do we think confiscation is going to happen? Because I got words for that. So we're going to go on break a time. It'll be a time. It'll be about 7-8 minutes. And yeah, just to stay tuned in. We're just going to play it right here over Facebook and we'll be back in about 8 minutes. Shots.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moment. This is WTF Nation Radio.
On WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shots, and we are back with Friday Night Freedom with myself, KJ, Pookie, and Al. What's going on, guys? Ah, shit, never mind, we're muted. Let me redo that. And we are back with Friday Night Freedom with KJ, Pookie, and Owl. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good.
So I'm not gonna lie, I just said that entire thing muted on my board, so I'm a fucking idiot. I'm having a special moment.
Nah, it's just been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
That's what she said.
prior to us going on break, Al brought up the idea of veterans in Congress and going from the military into political positions and being that middle ground, because we've experienced. It isn't just experiencing war and experiencing being in the military. It's experiencing the fuckery, the general retardedness that is the military and the big machine, and how more of us.
Bureaucracy of the big green weenie.
Yeah, there we go. Bureaucracy of the big green weenie. That sounds like a fucking cult. We are here to be in the bureaucracy of the big green weenie.
Or an old 1970s rock band.
1970s rock band. Oh, I can see that better. Sitting down in caisson, getting blown all night long. She don't love me a long time. She gonna blow my mind. Okay, I'm done. I'm done making up random parodies and songs.
But no, what I was trying to point out, and it's if you think about it, even if I okay, I'm in the middle as far as my leanings one way or the other. But I've seen Democrat enlisted and Republican enlisted, and you can still find common ground because we still have to think, we still meet in the middle because we still have to think. We know culture. We know we've seen stuff, and you can sit there and say, but you remember, think about this. And so we can make our points without going to blows, without sitting there trying to yell at each other. Because
we can also head shed on when there's a mission that needs to be done. Like if you need to sit down and figure out what's the best way to go about this, you could sit down and head shed that shit, and you usually find a good middle ground and a very good way to do it.
And that's the whole idea. And my thought is, we're used to getting along, even if we don't agree. I may hate the cocksucker across from me, but I know he's gonna save my ass just like I'm gonna save his. And that's the whole idea.
He's not going to stab me in the back the second he gets a chance to do it over, a couple $100,000, but whatever.
We have something already in place. It's the Veterans Party of America. I said it when I started my show. I said it in fucking November. I said it in December, in January, and February until I had to go off the air to handle my personal shit. The Veterans
but my
Party
question
of America.
is that a third party? Is it considered a third party?
Who cares?
So you say that's who cares, but there's a lot of libertarians out there that are diehard libertarians.
Let me give you the hard number.
They've been swinging votes, and everyone's like, "Oh, you wasted your vote," which I don't believe in. Vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for, because that's the way our fucking system's designed for. But no, that's legit. People won't vote third party because they're scared to death. If they vote third party, they'll get a shithead.
Okay, but here's the thing. 18.8 million veterans in the United States, according to the most recent statistics from the U.S. Census on October 3rd, 2017. 18.8 million. Okay?
Okay.
18.8 million people.
That's about 1.300th of the population, 1% almost of the population.
A little bit over that.
But if we're to band together, and here's the thing, I'm not saying we're going to just vote for ourselves, because if you think about it, how many trust veterans over everybody else?
Let me tell you firsthand. 0.
People. No, we're all. I was talking to a lady one time at a bar. This was a while back, and I told her I was a veteran, and she literally thought we were all batshit crazy, homeless bums that didn't give a shit about anything.
The common conception after the past, I want to say 60 years. It's almost 60 years, from 1960 to we'll say I'm calling it forward to 2020, but 60 years roughly. 60 years is that we are wild childs. We are unruly. We are fucked up in the head, and unfortunately, the media has portrayed that very, very well. This is my big gripe with media, is how they portray my brothers and sisters. And in the Vietnam War, they showed the reality of war. And once again, in Vietnam, that was the beginning of where we were not allowed to war fight. So then you see it again, and time again, through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. You see it in the early 2000s in the invasion of Afghanistan and the invasion of Iraq. And then we have a magic 4-letter phrase. PTSD.
Oh,
and that became synonymous with the veteran community. That became I went to a job interview. And the guy flat out said, "You're not going to get this position." I said, "Okay, is it because I'm not qualified?" "Yeah, you're not qualified, and I can't trust you're not going to go off the handle." What? And that's all he said. But it was because of I put my military service down. Not because of, he never contacted my prior employers because I called and asked. I had letters of recommendation from him. All that jazz. It was because of the military. Because he was firmly in the belief that even though I don't have it, I got PTSD. And that's the problem.
You can even see that in older movies from the 80s and stuff where they bust balls on Vietnam vets. Like, be careful not to trigger this guy because he's going to probably wind up breaking your neck.
Oh, Rambo. The movie Rambo.
Rambo is the ultimate depiction. The Rambo and Brothers. Rambo and Brothers are the ultimate, in my opinion, the ultimate depiction of that. Rambo just wants to be left alone. He knows he knows he's done some shit. He needs to sort it out himself, and that's the kind of person he is. And I can respect that. If that's the kind of person you are, listener, I can respect that. And if you need me, I'm here. But they don't leave him alone, and they push him over the edge. And then in Brothers, it's his brother that doesn't leave him alone, that does the Jody, and then doesn't back off after doing the Jody. And the guy comes back and he's fucked up in the head, and it all boils down to death by I can't remember. He got killed by the cops, didn't he? Jake Gyllenhaal's character, he got killed by the cops.
I don't think I've seen that movie, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie either.
It's an incredible movie. I classify it as a war movie because it involves a guy going to war. But you
talk about war movies. The prime example of a shitstorm of a stupid ass movie that happened. It came out right around the time after I had came back from Iraq. The first deployment was this stupid MTV movie. It was called Stop Loss.
I remember that.
I don't know if you've seen it, but it depicted us all like you said, crazy ass fucking people with a bunch of these fucking issues, and all we wanted to do is shoot people, and I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. All I want to do is I would fucking love for the confiscation to happen, because then I can wear my fucking rice patty hat and disappear, and just go full fucking guerrilla warfare against tyranny, and then reestablish the United States in the constitutional republic.
You said that now, and now they got you. They got you. You're the first one that's going to get it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Not a problem. They got 3 weeks. I'll be in the same place for 3 weeks. After that, good luck.
And you're right. PTSD is a rebranding of shell shock.
Yeah.
It started in Vietnam.
Before that.
Well, no. The rebrand.
Did George Carlin make a good joke about that? Like it started out as shell shock. Then they called it combat depression or something like that, it's just evolved.
Even before that, if you go back to World War I, there's active documentation on all sides of doctors regularly fighting officers because they're saying something is wrong with said soldier, and the officer saying no, it's cowardice, and.
Remember, that's what I had to go through and learn this stuff. That's part of becoming a psych tech is you have to understand what the stigma is.
Yeah.
Of working psych.
And that's
you want to get into the
part.
PTSD thing. We just started figuring out, like literally just started really delving into the whole TBI thing. No one really knows much about this. We're still learning about that shit.
I mean,
and that's mainly because it has to do with the fact that until enough veterans die to where they can look at their brain afterwards, because TBI is so it's one of those things that it's hard to actually pick up even on MRIs.
It's one of those things of, and we're going to tie this back to the Veterans Party and Veterans in Congress, but it's one of the things of you have a documented situation easily for 100 years that we're starting just now to break through, but because of the past 50 years, 60 years of television,
stigma,
the depiction of it is such a brutal stigma. And even then, we'll go into movies that have no mention of it. The Expendables are probably the worst offenders ever. I love The Expendables. I love Jason Statham and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. It's one of my favorite movies to just veg out and watch. If I could smoke some weed, I'd smoke some weed and fucking watch that shit. But there are a bunch of veterans that can't stop fighting.
Yeah. And see, what you're talking about with all this, you're talking about stigma, and we're talking about, Veterans Party. And see, the reason I keep going back to we need to get veterans in, look at the fact we used to have a lot more veterans.
Yeah.
After World War II in Congress and Senate.
Eisenhower is the most famous because he makes the office of the president.
Well, the media, you're right. The media has gone against us because we were always the voice of reason. Okay? We were always the ones that would sit there and debate it out in common sense. We're the ones.
I mean, honest. I'm not to cut you off or anything, but honest God, truth. If you asked like any veteran, like if it was wartime, let's vote for go to war or not, most veterans would be like, no.
Yeah,
And
We're going to be extremely against it. It's the last ditch effort. Like, this is the only option we have. That's the last option on the table.
and that's the appalling thing with politics today, is you have men and women that could do incredible good in office, be it in district as a congressman, or be it as senatorial, or even in the Supreme Court, going through the judicial side of things. You have incredible men and women that could be doing that are blatantly, you're a veteran, you can't do that. Don't you need help? I swear to God, if I have another motherfucker, I have no mental issues, I have nothing wrong, I am a fat fuck, that is it. And I'm only a fat fuck for a few months longer, so I'm losing weight. And God damn
And you got the beard going too.
No. I shaved.
Oh no.
I shaved. I don't have the poopy beard no more.
Why would you do that to yourself, man?
Because I was worried about the government figuring out that I figured out they were on a confiscation movement, and that I needed to change my appearance so that I can blend in, become the gray man.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to confiscation in a minute.
The beard is the facial recognition thing, man. When you when you shave it off, it messes with the facial recognition, man.
God damn it, I fucked up. Anyway, I hear another time, I'm sorry, don't you need to go get help? I swear to God, the help that's going to be needed is the EMTs after I break your fucking face in half. Not because I'm fucking mentally unstable, because I'm tired of being told because there's nothing wrong with me, I need help.
We could take this back a bit. We were earlier on the first segment talking about education.
Oh yeah, there we go. That magic fucking word that KJ got tattooed.
Because me and you would always get on this on the taco truck. Like, education is prime. Like, if you fail on education, you fail on everything.
Oh man, David brings up the Hurt Locker, and I'm like, oh my God, don't get me started on the Hurt Locker. You want to talk about education with veterans? Literally have on every movie that on set, like The Punisher. The Punisher is fucking fantastic because that portrays veterans in such an amazing light. Yes, it has a very dark and gruesome portrayal of PTSD. I lost my shit when that dude set off the pipe bomb vest. Spoilers. I lost my shit because I was fucking tearing up because I felt for that kid and I wanted to help him. Even though he was a fictional character, I felt for that fucking kid and I wanted to help him be there. And that's what got me. But the Punisher, the TV series on Netflix, that does fucking veterans justice. It does. But fuck it, because that's almost real. I could believe that happens. Minus the whole Frank Castle becoming the Punisher.
Yeah.
Everything else I can believe happens. Especially the pipe bomb.
If you read the Punisher comics, I mean, wasn't he like addicted to drugs and stuff like that?
Yeah,
he
got it. I've been subscribed to Punisher comics since I was 10. I have almost every single one for 16 years, and drugs, alcohol, his own demons. Fucking at one point he was in literally direct, constant confrontation with fucking Deadpool and Spider-Man, and it wore down on him, and it brought his own traumatic stress to a new level because these are people he considered allies and he could trust, where now he can't. Or
my favorite Punisher was Punisher kills everyone. I think it was
that once again, that's not actual universe, but whatever. We'll get nerdy later.
It was a good comic though.
It was a good comic. But education, like watching The Punisher, bro, you have vets that sit there and believe the government is infringing on every single right. You have fucking vets that are feeling.
You see that right now, though. You see it right. You can see it right now. And people are like, "You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy." And then you have an old Supreme Justice saying what he said, and that just triggers people.
Fucking John Paul Stevens.
Yeah, you say stupid like shit like that. That causes you want to divide. You just caused it.
But they want to cause it. They want us to trigger. They want us to go out and act just like they tell people we do. That's been the whole thing. They want us no longer to be valid. Because it used to be, after World War II, veterans were considered good people. We went
Well, I
out.
mean, we haven't. When's the last time there's been a big veterans march, though?
There hasn't in a long time. But you know why? You know why after World War II we were looked to be good people, and then after Vietnam we weren't? Because people finally understood. That, see, there was an untalked thing pre-Vietnam, which was veteran to veteran. It was veteran to veteran about what was done over there. And it was kept in that community, and in our, if we need to see a shrink, it was kept in that community. It was kept in a tight-knit group. And this is why you don't see a lot of veterans pursuing political. They're going to pursue their own private things because of, you see the current trend of Matt Best and John Burke, which, by the way, kudos to them. But you see the trend of, okay, hey, we can do this whole America First thing and make money because that's the current trend. But the issue here.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna stop you there with that. If you had a choice to pursue a political career or be an entrepreneur and make a shit ton of money, which one would you choose?
Are you asking me personally, or asking me to think objectively?
Okay, well, both then at that point.
Personally, I would go political. Period. End quote. Because I don't see anyone else doing it, so it looks like I have to. I see no one else doing it, so it looks like I have to, and I hate that.
But objectively, you would just pursue your business and make money.
As not KJ, but fucking, Billy Bob Johansson from fucking down the street, bro. He's making how much from just selling Black Rifle coffee? That's the pain in the ass. We used to be the ones. Yeah, we made the ultimate we decided to write that check. But
we were also. I mean, after World War II, man, who was the factory workers at that point?
In World War II, who was the middle class?
Exactly.
We made the middle class.
Exactly. Amityville, New York, the first suburbia, did not spring up because of randomness. It was because veterans coming home from New York needed a place to live. They needed their own homes for their families. And living on the fucking, living in the old school, like what you see in the Godfather book, which was the compounds, the estates, whatever you want to call them. That wasn't kicking anymore. You needed to have sectioned housing like that. And I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm all for my brothers and sisters making fucking money. Hell yeah, dude. Make your money. Make your millions. But I'm also for, we need to be responsible. And right now, it's not solely on our shoulders, but we need to be that voice of reason. We need to fight those fucking prejudices. We need to fight that and get out there and show, hey, yeah, okay, cool. We have those fucking jackass fucking 13 Delta 9ers that are fucking sitting there. An M4, it is an AR-15. No, it's not. They're wrong. They don't represent us. Same way as you have the fucking pipe bomb kid from Punisher. No, that's wrong. We're not all like that as well. We're pretty fucking even ground in the middle. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to fucking do, is fight both ends of that. And that's the problem. We're fighting a battle for the past 60 years that we're starting. It's draining on the entire community. It's draining on all of us. And even further, there are plenty of veterans, and don't fucking discredit this one. It's going to be hard to argue it. There are plenty of veterans that are not joining because they love the country. There are plenty of veterans that join because they don't love the country. There are plenty of veterans that are joining for selfish reasons. And that number is just as big as the number that do love the country.
I know. I agree with you on that. Like, there's people. There's always been soldiers of fortune throughout the history of mankind. I need money. I'll do whatever the hell if you're gonna pay me to pull a trigger, I'm gonna do it.
But
there's
they're not trigger pullers. They're not trigger. I mean, yeah, I had 2 or 3 guys in my platoon, in my infantry platoon, that were there for fucking education benefits, and that's it. They didn't want to fucking go to war. They didn't give a shit about it. That's why they were in the driver's seat.
But that's where I can go back to. Desert Storm, okay? You should have seen. Desert Storm came around, and me working on a hospital at that point, I was working psych, but I was also working medic. And they started pulling some of us to work. I'd done some stuff, so they had me go and kind of chill out somewhere. And I ended up working on a ward as a NCO. And the kids... Reserves and National Guard are supposed to come in and take the place of the active duties, because the active duties got sent first because they're trained.
Yeah.
And the Reserves and National Guard, you should have heard the whining. I joined up.
And there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with Reserve National Guard, but there's a lot. Like, dude, there was a fucking my bro's in a reserve unit that he is hua gung ho, and he is for the first time in his life, like an entire fucking year. He was supposed to. He contacted them when he got out. He made all efforts to link up with them. We don't have your paperwork. Don't worry about it. We'll contact you. Don't worry about it. Year later. Hey, Sergeant so and so. Yeah. Hi. You haven't shown up for drill weekend in a year. Bitch, I got a recording from you saying I don't need to worry about it, and you're going to contact me when I need to show up. Oh. Oops.
Uh-huh.
And that's just one unit. Not all the units are like there's a group here in fucking Tennessee that when I was running the airsoft company, I had them come out and help me with a dude that was suffering some real bad fucking issues. And those guys were fucking on point. Like, they were on fucking point, ready to rock and roll, help their brother out, and they knew what they were doing to help simulate this thing we were trying to recreate. You know, trying some fucking sick shit with some cool-ass shrink. But fucking A, dude. It was, it's hit and miss.
They don't get me wrong; they've gotten better, especially because after the '90s, when they put all the support units or support jobs into the reserves and National Guard for the most part. At that point, when war came around, no matter what, we were going to have to call them up, and they knew it.
Yep.
But see, back in Desert Storm the first, okay. That nobody was prepared for it.
No, but that's and then
it seems kind of asinine for me. Like looking at, I don't know, like putting support people in a reserve unit.
Oh,
when you should just put the infantry guys in a reserve unit, because what do they do most of the time? They sit in a motor pool.
They
go to the range.
Look at the most successful
they train.
military in history. The most successful military in history. The most successsul militaries with an S. They all that lasted more than 5-10 years. So automatically, we're gonna knock like my personal favorite Rhodesia out of this. During times of war, like we'll go to Rome, which is the easiest one to look at. Their auxiliary units were not auxiliary in the sense of they had X, Y, and Z for fucking support. No, that was all their main army. Their auxiliary units were nothing but hard chargers that wanted to be Romans, that wanted to fucking, slaughter and slay. They wanted to fucking be Romans, and yeah, they had people that were, lack of a better term, dual MOSing. So your fucking centurion, your centurion legate, who was in charge of the whole thing, might also have been your fucking blacksmith. It happened back then, and those fucking militaries knew that those guys that were switching out to relieve their fucking main army, yeah, they kept their some war fighters in reserve and still had their main support and logisticals still active. But rotated them out smartly. Look at fucking fucking history KJ. Fourth Dynasty China, Japan during the Shogunate Wars, fucking Rome, go on to Rhodesia. Rhodesia lasted 11 years in that 11 years for the Bush War. 11 years. And they fucking fought hard. They lost, but they were expected to only last like fucking 2 with the amount of supplies they had, and they made it to 11. Fucking, you don't put fucking support shit out to fucking pasture and replace warriors. You replace warriors with warriors. You rotate out your support.
Well, and that's the way. See, it all started back in the 70s after the drawdown of Vietnam. Carter enacted with his generals, his yes men, the drawdown of we're going to revamp the whole military. Only people that are mainly going to be active is going to be our infantries, the people who are going to go to war who have to jump first. Everybody else, we're going to bring them down to almost nothing and put them in on active, and everybody else is going to be in reserve. Well, Reagan came in, and he turned that around, but he never undid the act that Carter did of the drawdown. He bumped our numbers up. Support got big. Everybody, you had people learning jobs that they could take to the outside. You had support, like I mean, infantry was happy. You had maintenance on everything. Everything was good. And then came Clinton. And he said, here's a piece of paper saying that we're supposed to be doing a drawdown and we're almost to the end, so why not? And he threw everything in, cut jobs. Like what I used to be in the military is no longer. They cut the job out.
Oh, my favorite is the 11 series, going from 11 Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. Someone hop in because I'm missing one. There's like a
there's Romeo 11 Romeo.
Yeah, there was like 511 series, like how the Marine Corps has their their 0311s, their 0313s, their 0331s, etc., where everybody had a gig. Everybody knew what they were doing. Now it's Bravos and Charlies. You have infantry and you have indirect fire infantry. And now, we have a hole in our platoon. Oh, man.
Yeah, your comm guys were gone. Your freaking your engineer guys are gone.
Well, you're primarily it wasn't engine, like, there was a Dragoon Gunner, which was he was a Rocketeer, which was what my brother's father was. And then he got out, and right before they killed it, there was a fucking indirect fire, there was regular infantry, there was a fucking one with some of the older, Al, you know what I'm talking about, right? There was one that was like a scout, there was shit like that.
Oh yeah, see, that happened
they were all jacks of all trades, but they were masters of one.
Yeah, and that's what an infantry unit was.
That happened in all the series. I was in the 91 series, which was the medical. And it started from Alpha and went all the way to Zebra. Okay? And there was specialties all the way through, so that when we set up as medical, you would actually see x-ray techs, dental techs, respiratory therapists, everything that you could possibly, laboratory techs, everything. They came up, that was part of the plan back with Carter, and then with Clinton, he reinforced it. That's why they took out a lot of series and said, no, I see us going to contracts.
Yeah. And then now let's tie this to the next part, which is confiscation. Now we have a military that has been drawn down, built up, drawn down, built up, drawn down, built up, because that's how historically we've always done it. When we needed our military, we've built them up, and when we're prepping to do something, when the world isn't looking too good, we build them up, and when the world's looking more at peace, we draw them down, because that's historically what everybody fucking does. However, yes, wife, please get pizza. Sorry about that. However, what's going on now is we are in this weird flux, because we have our wonderful president who likes to spit a big game and can't back it up. We'll get to him in the third hour. We'll talk Trump extensively in the third hour. But we have a president that's built up the military, built up the military, built up the military. By the way, we're going to build a wall. Where's the money? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to Mar-a-Lago. And then you have an entire population that is sitting there going, what the fuck is going on with our taxes? What the fuck is going on with our Second Amendment? What the fuck is going on with our First Amendment? What the fuck is going on with all of these things? Are we having the assault rifle ban of 2018 go into effect, or are we not? Are we having the omnibus bill going into effect? What is going on? And nothing is concrete. Like someone asked earlier, and now I'm bringing it up as a point of discussion, confiscation of weapons. First of all, that ain't going to happen.
Nope.
It ain't going to happen, and I'm going to give you a good reason why. Our government, if this was 1955 to 1985, and the same things were happening, okay, I could see our government collectively getting off their ass and being able to successfully do a
roundup.
A roundup. Thank you.
I doubt that. Because now we have now modern day, we have a police force that has the capability of doing so. Because I was always saying, don't militarize the police. Don't do it. I support the men in blue and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. but there's no reason why our police should have the same power
So
as our military.
I talked to so once upon a time, before I ever came to WTF Nation Radio, in 2016, I was on here 2 times showing off my fucking my airsoft company, and I partnered with a lot of fucking people. I partnered with local Leo. I partnered with TBI. I partnered with our local VA, which was the worst decision. I partnered with psychiatrists. I partnered with veterans groups. I partnered with a National Guard unit to, hey, when you guys aren't training, could you help me out? Privately, not through the military, not through the DoD or through the state, But I got those partners. And at one point, me and some of the guys that are out there with me, some local law enforcement, some TBI guys, we were all prepping for a thing the next day where we had a guy coming in, and the topic of confiscation came up. And all of them, 10 guys, 10 of them total, all of them would refuse it. Because not only would they have to, there are more guns than there are American citizens in the United States. There's more ammo in the U.S. than it's a multiplication formula that's just insane for how much ammo is in the U.S. versus our population. But even further, they have to either willingly get us to give up our guns, which in some states we know that's a negative. That ain't going to happen.
Which is what they're trying
to do. Or go door to door.
And if they don't go, and they don't get it willingly, they got to go door to door. And then you have every person, that every house, every window, every blade of grass, the same thing the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Japanese, behind every blade of grass in America is an American with a rifle.
Amen.
And that's the thing. You start going door to door, and I'm going to ground. I'm disappearing with 2 rifles and 1 pistol. And both of those rifles are easily obtainable calibers, and my pistol is easily obtainable ammunition. And I can resupply off of bodies.
Well, and that's what I was trying to point out before is
it ain't gonna work.
Is part of the game. The media is trying to shame us, bringing in kids, bringing in everything. They're trying to shame us into giving things up, giving up our rights.
Oh, God forbid you talk about the kids. Oh, you're so evil.
Oh, I know. But that's the whole idea is they got to shame us because they know if they make the reach and they try to get law enforcement, first of all, how many of that law enforcement served? Second of all, the ones that haven't served, how many of them are scared of us?
All of them.
And how many are really not willing to put their lives on the line to take that gun from me?
Now let's go even further. We've all seen the grunt style video, This Will Defend, right?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, it was in the office chat when it first came out. It was visually, it was amazing. However, it brought up an interesting thing here that's relevant to confiscation. You have a riot going on that this officer's in front of, and right before this riot tips over, this officer sees the flag burning, and he thinks about everything he's done, his military service, his handling and dealing with the flag, all the way back to childhood. And of course, the riot breaks out, and bam, there goes that collapsible baton. He's ready to anti-riot. And when I first saw it, my immediate reaction was, that is fucking amazing. That is the epitome of a veteran and of an American. That was my first guttural reaction. But now I look at it, and that is the conflict I would be going through. Even like I said, I would go to ground. I have 3 weapons. I have my bug out bag. I have everything ready to rock and roll. But I would be so conflicted if I had to pull that trigger on a fellow American. Even if there was a full radical confiscation, my Second Amendment's now in danger.
Think of the Civil War. Just think about that. We've been there. It wasn't fun, but it comes down to, are we being pushed into that type of mindset?
And we are.
I don't know. History. You know what? 200 years from now, history will write what happened, and you know how history is written
by the victors.
Those who won.
We can't as Americans, and this is not just veterans, but this is to all Americans. We can't let a minority, and I mean a minority, dictate what is good for all of us. That is how
but the squeaky gear gets the grease, man.
Hold on. That is how all of the world evils have started. That is how Nazi Germany started. That is how, and I'm not talking about Hitler Youth. I'm talking about Nazi Germany. Hitler Youth was an entirely separate. I mean, that's something I've researched.
That was after everything had happened.
Oh, no. We'll deviate there. Like, everyone's comparing David Hogg to Hitler Youth and Hitler, which I can see the resemblance. But Hitler Youth, I'm like, I can't see it. Because the Hitler Youth was not as Nazi as you think. Like, I hate to be a Jew on Passover, the first night of Passover, defending the Hitler Youth, but the Hitler Youth was...
I'm about to say that happy Passover for my Jewish listeners.
Messiah, bitches. But it's one of those things of, God damn, they were like a venturers club. That's what it was. That's what it was. And then it evolved into the whole...
Like a Boy Scouts. It was almost some Boy Scouts at that point.
Yeah, and I hate to say that, but historically, that's what it was. And from firsthand accounts, from people that lived it, that's what it was. And But Nazi Germany... Up
until the end of the war, when they had them, running Panzer strikes on American tanks and stuff like that.
Grab the Panzerfaust and get ready to fire on that Sherman. But Grandpapa... I'm sorry, all I can ever think about that thing when we talk about Pookie is like the grandkids from like Beerfest from Germany, and like the grandpa from Beerfest. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Now go and grab some Panzerfaust. But Grandpapa, Grandpapa, I can't sit there with my sorry.
Damn.
As you can tell, these past couple of weeks have been filled with a lot of great fucking comedies.
Dude, okay, not to deviate from our subject, we can get back to it, but have you noticed, like, your friends on Facebook saying, I got zucked today? It's like it hasn't been happening since everything's happened. I've seen a lot of more like Nazi shit, like propaganda floating around. I'm like losing my mind about it. I'm like, why are you posting that stupid shit?
Oh, my favorite is I got zucked. Yeah, I got zucked over something that was hilarious. I posted a video of me going out to a range and firing a .22.
A little pea shooter.
Yeah, little pea shooter. Firing a .22. I got
you'd kill a squirrel if you hit it in a skull.
Yeah, I got zucked in 6 minutes. That video was taken down. 6 minutes. Because it appeared I was shooting a human being.
Dude, I need to learn these algorithms. I really do. I would love to study these things in depth.
Oh,
I think it's very AI driven. I know that, right?
See, this is where confiscation is. Our confiscation is with the Second Amendment. Our confiscation is with the First Amendment. We all, and this is legal Beagle KJ. We all agreed to let Facebook to sign up on Facebook, and we have to
agreement. Okay. Oh my God, it gets back into an old 1980. Was it 1989 Computer Agreement Act?
Did you have to? Do you have to sign up for Facebook?
Yes. No, that's what I'm saying. This all spawned from an old Computer Agreement Act saying that if you're going to use this network, you agree to the terms of service of this network.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, no. But then I'm a network administrator, like, yes, you're not doing this shit. So, I mean, it's tricky.
But with Facebook, you don't have to use Facebook. You don't have to use YouTube. Like, everyone got up in arms. YouTube's blocking all the gun channels. Well,
they went to Pornhub. Pornhub said, all right, cool.
But ignore that. You signed up, and there's terms of use. And those terms of use may be subject to change. It's always within the last few paragraphs of it. These terms of use may be subject to change. And YouTube moved away from...
Magic bullet. It's that magic bullet.
Yeah. And YouTube doesn't want to have guns on their platform. Okay. That's the company's decision.
But if you want to shoot oh my God. If you, no pun intended, want to shoot yourself in the foot, go ahead and do that and lose viewership to another.
But that's the thing. It's Facebook, YouTube. The confiscation is not from them. It's from our fellow Americans, because our fellow users. We're not Facebook is not the one that is actively banning us. It gets reported, because do you really honestly think that Facebook has a team of people, and I mean it would have to be a massive hundreds of millions of people sitting there every day on their computer,
Or a big
scrolling,
data
looking
center
at
that
going,
has an algorithm on it. I mean,
yeah, but think about that. Algorithm has to look for what out of how many pictures posted a day. I think it was like 150 million pictures posted an hour.
yeah, you're thinking human terms. A
I'm not
computer
thinking human terms.
Yeah,
Just to render, using computer, just to render a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer block in Arma 3. Just using that as a example here. Just to render that requires 50 gigs. 50 gigs to render that 1 kilometer.
I was about to take it to like the Minecraft thing. It's like if like the original PC version, if you were to render walking distance before it would have to repeat in the program, you'd have to walk the distance between the sun and Earth twice.
And before the fucking gamers come out and go, what the fuck are you talking about 50 gigs? It's 50 gigs for a fully fleshed out 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer block of land, because the map editor can do that. You know, the map tool maker can do that. You can put in GPS coordinates and boom, you can get a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer or 600 or 600 by 600 and have it completely render from GPS, from fucking satellite, from fucking USGS surveys. It can render all that, and it takes a lot of processing power just to do that 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer, because it's not all done in your PC. It's done through Bohemia servers. Facebook, 150 million pictures an hour. An hour. That's just pictures. That's just JPEGs. We ain't talking GIFs. We ain't talking PNGs.
How are you talking about personal, like not copy pasta shit?
Yeah, we're talking per hour. A new photo uploaded from someone's hard drive or phone to Facebook. Even if it's the same photo, it's just this fucking background of Friday Night Freedom. Just this background here.
No, that's what I'm saying. Copy pasta. There's a big cache, man.
Hold on.
Or cache.
Hold on.
Cache.
What I'm saying is a person has the photos saved on their computer, and they upload it. That's what I'm talking about. That is a unique upload. It may be not a unique image, but it's a unique upload.
But okay, not to argue with you on this, but me as a content editor would realize that this is a problem, and I would have my system realize that this is a duplicate picture and put it into a cache.
But that's the thing. They can't. Because when you have a new photo upload, and I'm just talking about JPEGs. I ain't talking about PNGs. I ain't talking about WebMs. I ain't talking about GIFs. I ain't talking about video. MP3, MP4 format, AAC format, any of that. They have to go through, and that algorithm has to go through and make sure that none of the checkboxes for it check. And even further, it can't check them all. There have been times, especially with the Cambridge Analytica data, that they were harvesting data. A lot of that data, they came back. There was a whole bunch that was useless, frivolous, unknown shit, because it was just people that would just upload all day. The Instagram models, we haven't even talked about linking your Instagram to your Facebook.
Oh my God! So you're saying porn stars are saving us from being spied on?
But what I'm saying is, it's not Facebook that's cucking you, that's zucking you. It's your fellow American. It's not YouTube that's cucking you. It's your fellow Americans. They're reporting it.
No, exactly. Like the guy who's sitting there doing Facebook Live, and he don't realize that I'm just walking in the background. I just got pinged on some sort of database somewhere.
But that doesn't. But fuck. Just ignore that. Just talking about images or or pre-made videos on YouTube. It's the American citizen that is confiscating your First Amendment rights. Your Second Amendment rights are never going to be infringed. Do you know why? Are never going to be confiscated. You're never going to lose the ability to have a firearm. You may, because of what our lawmakers decide to do, you may lose what kind of firearm, because they've done it in the past. And I hate to say it, but that's the reality.
Which is against the goddamn
But
law.
That's the reality. That's the reality. They can choose which guns you have, but they can't take them all.
I don't know if you listened to me and Ice one night. We went through the Constitution.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah, well, the one was like once a felon is done, or like any person is done with their servitude and they've served their time with society, they get all their rights back.
However, that is basing the document as a static document. And unfortunately, you can't claim that argument both ways, Pookie. Because if you're saying that's the case, then...
I understand that, but I mean,
let me finish.
I look at it as a black and white thing.
Let me finish it. You can't look at it as a black and white thing, though, because if you look at it as a black and white thing, you can't look at it as black and white and look at it as gray, because that's what's happening here. The statement I just made of they can decide which guns you can have, but you're still allowed to have guns, and then you sit there and say that fucking inmates that get released, so prior criminals that get released, they get all their rights back. Unfortunately, that's
once they're done serving their time. Yes, once they've done their time to society, I agree with that.
That's looking at the Constitution.
There's laws in place, though, however, saying that this is the amount of time you've got to serve for your society to be able to be a normal functioning person at that point.
But there you go. This is the matter of static versus dynamic document, a living versus a static document, and that's how right there, the contradiction was made, because you can't sit there and say, oh hey, this is how it should be, which is, oh hey, it says that criminals, once they serve their time, they serve their 20 years for beating off to some kiddie porn, and I'm going with an extreme here, but they serve their 20 years for beating off to some kiddie porn that they kept on their computer. Okay, and then afterwards they can buy guns, they can say whatever they want, they can do whatever they want. Great. But then by that logic, the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, the Second Amendment only applies to muskets, and the First Amendment only applies to quill and pen and paper, because that was what was ran at the time. Where if you go to the other side of this coin, which is that the institutions that be, our Congress, our etc., they are sitting there and they said, okay, the assault weapons ban of in the 1990s, they are sitting there and saying, you can't buy assault rifles, which is fucking retarded, because there is no such thing, but you can't buy assault rifles. And they implement that, and it becomes legal, and the Supreme Court upholds it, which they did. And then you have a conflict with that original side of the coin of the criminals, because now there's also laws that state that criminals can't buy firearms after they serve their time due to recidivism, and they have to petition for their rights, because it was proven that recidivism,
No one should ever have to petition for their rights, though. That's the thing. That would be like me having to go to courthouse to petition for my right to say, "Hey, I'm here."
But that's the world
in the middle of the courthouse.
That's the world we live in. Because I'll give you another example. No parent should be denied the ability to see their child. I get 42 days out of the year.
Okay.
That is the world we live in, and you can't look at the Constitution black and white, because the Constitution says nothing on divorce.
Of course it doesn't say anything about divorce. It's a baseline for human rights. It was the beginning of human rights in the world, actually.
Is it not a human right to raise your child and be with your child and raise your progeny?
Unless you're like, I don't know, it's not written in the Constitution, man. If you wanted it in the Constitution, you could go through the process of ratifying that.
And the Constitution has been ratified, and even further, there are laws out there that are not in the Constitution, like the divorce laws, but there are laws out there that are not in the Constitution that makes this document living and breathing. Even if you
you brought it to the whole kid thing, right? Yeah. If you can grab enough fathers around the United States to push for an amendment saying that equal rights to children, add it to the Constitution, that's how it works.
Well, that's fine, but systematically, and that's what was done. That's been pushed in the 48 lower and Alaska and Hawaii. That's been pushed. All states now have to have, all parents have equal opportunity. But they don't, because the numbers show that. So it says on paper, yeah. But that's the reality. The documents, the laws, the Constitution, it is not a black and white form. Anyone that looks at the Constitution goes, that is verbatim 100%. The Constitution.
No,
was
no.
written in-
I'm saying this is verbatim 100% because if it makes it to the Constitution, that is a given right to the people.
Correct.
And that's where we fucked up over the last, I don't know, when was the last ratification of the Constitution? Like amendment to the Constitution?
John, help me out here.
It's been almost 100 years at that point.
I would think the 60s or 50s, John.
Yeah, it's that you're talking.
An actual amendment to the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
When have we had that?
I'm Googling it now. Last amendment passed Constitution.
Because it was early 90s. No, not 90s. Early 1900s.
1992.
1992.
27th Amendment ratified May 7, 1992. Requires that no change in compensation for a representative or a senator shall take effect until election of representatives shall have intervened.
So what you're saying, it was a job security amendment and nothing to do with people security at that point.
I don't know. I'm just reading the immediate. Prohibits any law that increases or decreases the salary of members of Congress from taking effect until the start of the next set of term of offices for representatives. So that means that if this current set...
Holy shit.
So that means that the people in office right now can't increase or decrease their salary. They can't reap the benefits of increasing or decreasing their salary. It won't take effect until the next term of representatives.
So that was the last one then.
Yeah, that was the last one.
The sad part is that they would feel the need to put that in, and that was so important to them. If you think about
that is in our Constitution. That is like a job security thing. We're all going to vote for our shit, and we know we're going to get reelected. So at this point, it doesn't matter. What year was that?
1992.
1990. Well, I mean, what's been going on since 1992? Holy shit! Oh my god, tinfoil hat time.
However,
how many people are still in office?
However, there are just as many that are still in office as there are new faces. The number.
There's some new faces.
What'd you say?
I'll give you that. There are some new faces showing up, but it took a long time.
But that's the thing with politics. All right, it takes time for change, and their cause comes in with the win of it. The last ratification was in 1992. You know, and it's not shady politics. I see the need for it, which means that if they change something, they're not going to reap the benefits of it immediately. So, for example, if they just passed a budget bill and then they changed their salary in the budget, which I don't know if they have or haven't done, that doesn't mean next year their salaries are going to skyrocket to that. It means
the first thing they vote on is their budget bill every year, almost.
But that's
the way it works.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to reap the benefits of it the next year when they change the budget and see how much.
Well, it's 2 years, but then they stay there for 90-some years. Oh, who's the oldest right now?
Not all of them stay there. I mean, yes, you have your Mitch McConnells and you have your fucking Nancy Pelosi's. Of course.
Yes, exactly. Your career politicians, and that's what I said. 1992. That shit came down in 1992. They secured. Their right to their. I mean, goddamn! Oh shit! Never mind.
We're deviating from confiscation.
I know. Oh god! I'm sorry. I apologize.
Matter about the term limits. What matters is that your guns are not going to get taken away. Your First Amendment rights are. That's what's happening. Your First Amendment is, and that's what's more horrifying.
I mean, they'll whittle and chip at it all they want.
But which should piss you off more? If they take listen, a weapon, a gun, a knife. All right, that'll only get you so far.
Okay, I can make a weapon out of anything. So all right, my fists can be weapons if I wanted them to be.
A weapon, in traditional thinking, can only get you so far. You can use a gun to intimidate. You can use a gun to inspire. You know, you've seen the Che Guevara pictures. You've seen the revolution pictures. You can use those things to inspire and elicit emotion, but it's a immediate emotion. But your words, your religion, your right to assembly, that is what changes things in this country. That is what caused the Civil War, was our First Amendment. Our First Amendment caused the Civil War because it was stated, the ultimatum was stated, if Abraham Lincoln becomes elected, if he becomes president, we are seceding. And the South seceded. They lost, but they seceded nonetheless. And because they said it, and the consequences of them saying is, okay, we said it, we can either back out and look like pussies, or we can actually go through and try our own shot at this. And then they did, and they tried, and they failed. They failed. They failed on a military front, not on a political front. I'm not diving into the politics of the Confederacy. Fuck no, that's too fucking much of a headache. But they, but they did it, and it was their First Amendment that allowed them to do that. And sure as shit, they got persecuted for what they did. Remember, you're not safe from the consequences of what you say or assemble to, or what you believe in. You're not safe from the consequences from the public. If your religion is killing cops, you're not safe from the public perception, from their opinion of thinking you're an absolute scumbag.
Exactly.
But nowadays, you're seeing it in Germany, you're seeing it in Italy, you're seeing it in
the UK, especially the UK right now.
A gentleman got arrested for posting a tweet making a joke about comparing someone to Nazis. He made a joke. It was a joke. That's the worst part. It was a joke. And because someone got offended, British authorities arrested him. And that's the scary part. Everyone says, oh, it's because they took away their guns. No, it's because you allowed things to get that out of hand. And that's where we are headed. It's not the Second Amendment that's in danger. Because the Second Amendment, that requires a lot of blood. A lot of blood. And no one wants to pay that price.
Look at the fact that they keep messing with WTF Nation.
Do you know my wife can't even see this channel anymore, this page? We spent hours. My wife, who's a fucking massage therapist, can't find WTF Nation Radio anymore. She can't find U.S. Army WTF moments anymore. She can't. Even when she directly searches it into the address bar, she can't find it.
I've had that issue with people tagging my page for like almost forever. I had to stop posting for almost 6 months.
And now we're at a precipice. All right, real quick before we go further into the precipice, do we want to take a break or do we want to keep rolling? Do you guys want to take a break or do you guys want to keep rolling?
I mean, rolling to a break real quick. We do that normally. That's the normal. Don't break the normality of the Friday Night Freedom.
I know. I'm just asking because we got a good thing going here. All right, I'm gonna kill this. There we go. I'm gonna kill that one, and then we're gonna take a short break, like 4 minutes at most. That way we can all run to the bathroom, grab a drink. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, and then we'll be fantastic. Back. We'll talk about the precipice of what we're about to lose. All right, here on WTF Nation Radio at Friday Night Freedom. Shots. Okay, Pookie, you're going to be an individual.
Sir?
And we're off. 30 seconds.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shots. Okay, so like I said, short break. We listened to one song and heard Randy Couture. God, I love that singer. Welcome back to Friday Night Freedom with myself, KJ. Minx is on walkabout, jumping around out in the wild and doing stuff. And with me, I got Pookie and Mr. Owl. How you doing, guys? You still strong?
Hey, I'm doing great. You two are triggering.
It's very... Pookie and I have very... We feed off each other, too, which is nice. I
noticed.
Yeah, we feed pretty damn hard.
Pookie enjoys that stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feed like a goddamn, like a shark.
So, just before we went on break, we were talking about the precipice, and we're on the precipice of losing our First Amendment. That's what we're going to lose, and I wanted to get your opinion on that. Before we go into President Trump, and... no. Oh.
What do y'all call him? The Cheeto? Is that what y'all call him now?
Wait, why are you saying y'all? It ain't a y'all thing. It's just.
No, I don't know. I don't give a shit. Like, the president is the pilot of this United States.
He's the president.
He's flying an airplane. Okay. If you want him to fail, you fucking up.
I don't want him to fail. I just want him to fucking learn. God. You
hire a businessman to run something. A businessman is going to run it the way he's always done it.
That's okay, but here's the thing: you're the president. You're not running a country. You're not running a business. You're running a country. There's more than just checks. There's more than just literal checks and making sure your balance is in the positive.
What's the difference?
People's lives is the difference.
Okay, well, I mean...
The entire country's lives.
Well, I mean, you run a business, you employ 300 million people.
The last time I checked, there's no company. There's no company.
I'm putting it in a perspective here. You run a business, there's 300 million people employed to you, somewhat, quote unquote, because I won't say those magical words. I was about to do it, but they're all tax-paying citizens. You want them to prosper so you can make more money off them.
But how does his recent decisions make me prosper? Let's look at this realistically here. Let's look at this realistically. First of all, I'm going to trigger you, but I'm going to sit there and I had such high hopes for President Trump.
Oh my God, I do too. And I don't defend a man ever. When he fucks up, fucks up.
I don't think he's going to get reelected for the sole reason that he can't be consistent in any capacity. Now, I can understand being random.
Okay, hold on. Take it back. How far can you remember? Like, when's the last president you remember?
The last one I remember?
The last president you remember being elected, like during an election time frame. Like, who was the last president you remember?
God, I remember all the way back to Bush Jr., George H.W. Bush.
I remember. Oh, shit.
You've got what, 4 or 5 more years on me?
Like, almost fucking 10 years. I'm sure Mr. Al can fucking agree that he said Carter. I was like, holy fuck, man. My mom was always talking about it and shit. But
I'm not talking about Carter. I'm not talking about Reagan or Bush Sr. or Clinton. I'm talking or Bush Jr. or President Obama.
We can talk now, but I was just saying, like, you gotta take it as perspective, right? So, like we were talking about earlier, age before beauty, kind of Mustang shit. Like you got the old guy in the back of the room here who has seen this shit happening. I'm in the middle, like kind of like I've seen shit happen, but I mean I'm still witnessing it.
And sure as shit, don't call
And
me beauty because I'm young, ugly as fuck.
age before beauty, always.
Well, and what I see going on. He's adapting. I mean, I always tell people from experience, the first year of a presidency, you're going to see a cluster because that's what is supposed to happen. He's got to get his feet in there. He's got to figure out who he can trust, who he can't trust, and he's got to see what it's going to take to negotiate. The reason
First 100 days.
I'm not a Trump guy, I'm not a anybody guy. The reason I like Trump only is, well, one, he's entertaining. And as much as that sounds funny, I like the fact that when I say entertaining, in other words, he's got people pulling their hair out. The people who are extreme are learning now. They are extreme because he's making it apparent to them. But he himself, while one hand's going over there twittering, the other hand, he's actually negotiating. And negotiating is what we're supposed to be doing. That is what the president is supposed to be doing. He's supposed to get the Congress and the Senate and everybody around, including diplomats, including China and everybody. He's supposed to be getting them to negotiate, to talk. He is supposed to be representing us. And the one thing I say about him is he's trying. He's not perfect, but he has a lot to deal with because of what was prior to him. I'm not giving him too much latitude, but like I said, he's trying. My experience, yeah, I can go all the way back to remembering, yes, Nixon as a kid. I can remember the elections because I remember hearing about them. Excuse me. And I remember all the turmoil that each election brought. This guy, they're trying to set him up for failure because they have their own agendas. But the fact is, he's putting forth what we actually ask. For once, we actually have a president that is trying to do what we elected him to do.
I'm not upset that he's trying to do what we elected him to do because unfortunately, here's the thing. First of all, I didn't vote for him. I'm gonna be dead honest. I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Clinton. Oh God, no. I'm sorry. I am a self-respecting human being. I voted for Gary Johnson. I'm gonna put that. I voted Libertarian. I'm proud I voted for Libertarian. I thought he was the best candidate for the job. I will put that out there every time I talk about politics. But God damn it, the part that aggravates me about President Trump is every goddamn time he gets someone in his cabinet that is going to be a good person for that cabinet because he's not a yes man or a friend or any of those godforsaken things you don't want to be surrounded with in leadership. He does something like the White House physician Ronnie Jackson to lead the Department of Veteran Affairs. The White House physician who has never led a large organization, who does not understand the complexities of it. Now, he's a physician. That's working. That's where, okay, I'm 75.
Okay. Where's his allegiances right now? Because I'm big on the whole, open source kind of shit. If I need to get my hand fixed, for instance, which, whatever, can I go to a public source and get it fixed from a public source? Or do I have to go through the fucking bureaucracy of the VA and wait 12 years to get this fixed?
Hold on. We're not talking about the VA.
You just started talking about the VA.
I'm talking about
I was like, okay.
I'm talking about a man. I'm talking about Ronnie Jackson. I'm not talking about the VA. I'm talking about
I
Ronnie
thought
Jackson.
okay. Well, okay.
I'm talking about the
Talking
White House physician who was the doctor to the president that is now
Okay,
put in charge of the Department of Veteran Affairs. I'm talking
So-
about CNBC contributor Larry Kudlow to be his top economic advisor.
Or Michael Bolton,
Or
who
you,
was,
or
who
the
was
Fox News
from
pundits.
ambassador to now his position.
You're talking about John Bolton, the former
Yeah.
UN ambassador, who's the Fox News pundit as national security advisor. I'm seeing you should not. There's no consistency. Yes, there's consistency with Trump, but there's more than just Trump in the presidency. There's the whole administration, and the whole administration does not have consistency. I know H.R. McMaster. I dined with him on Passover. I broke bread with this man. And why did he get ousted? Oh,
okay.
that's right.
Let me
He
ask you a simple
disagreed.
question.
He disagreed.
Can you prove I can't even say it. I was getting technical with it, but can you do something simple as like a joint of fucking like woodworking? Do woodworking jointing?
Can I do it?
No, like and hypothetical.
What?
If I was to ask you, this is your job, you got to join this shit.
I gotta join. I don't know. I don't get what you're trying to ask me, Pookie.
No. What I'm asking is, if you can't do it, then why the fuck are you doing the job?
That's the
But
point
if
I'm
I
trying to make
asked
here.
you to do something,
it's not a matter
you
of
do it.
It's not a matter. It's a matter of who's there. I don't know if they
It
can do the
don't
job.
matter.
I don't know.
I mean, it don't matter who's there
It
if you
does
can't
matter
do
who's
the
there,
job.
because Larry Kudlow is a yes man.
Like,
John Bolton is a
there's
yes man.
mans all through the entirety of our government right now. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. He's trying to drain the swamp, quote unquote.
Historically, President Trump, growing up in New York and seeing him and seeing his interactions, he doesn't surround himself with yes men. And now we have him in charge of the country, running the country like a company, and surrounding himself with yes men.
But my question there with that was you said he was not historically surrounded by yes men, but now he is. Is it because he got into government?
Or
he got surrounded by the shitheads.
Here's a thought, and if you'll just give me a sec and hear this thought out. I don't know if they're yes men. I can't go on that yes or no. But he likes people who, okay, he's being the president. If you were taken from what you're doing and thrown into being head of the country, wouldn't you want to have people who could explain shit to you? And maybe he needed someone. In other words, McMaster's may have been good, but maybe he wasn't getting across the message the way that he needed to hear it. Because that sometimes you may have the best person in the world for the job. And if you can't understand what the hell they're saying, it doesn't matter.
That's your
That's what I thought.
I look at it as like a foreman, and I've been on a foreman job before, and I say, get this shit done. I don't care how you get it done. And I come back 3 months later, it's not done yet.
Yeah, then you replace him.
You didn't do what I told you to do. Get the fuck out of here. You're fired.
That's not how politics is run. Because the issue with politics is
why not?
Because that's not how it is. The reality is that's not how it is. Because politics
You're
is not
saying
business.
politics is a different science from business, but business and politics are the same thing. You cannot do business
really
without
business
politics.
Business and politics are the same thing. Because we're going to take that and we're going to examine that. Because the reality is business and politics are entirely separate things. A business cannot dictate to me what I can and cannot do.
I understand that. That's the reason why we have the Constitution. We go back to the Constitution again. Bill of Rights.
Business cannot create laws. A business cannot enforce the laws. A business cannot dictate policy. A business cannot.
So what is our government right now? I want to trigger you right now, and taxation is theft, and that's like extortion to the extreme. But
if taxation is theft, so
I'm going to say I'm going to take your money from your paycheck when you earn it, the second you earn it. I'll give it back to you when I feel like it.
Except it's not when you feel like it. There is a
At
price
the
to pay,
April 15th.
irregardless of where you live.
At the end of April 15th.
Irregardless of where you live. Irregardless of where you live. Be it fucking Uganda or fucking the United States. There is a price to live there. There is a cost to live there.
What is the price? Tell me, what is the price to live in my country right now? United States.
The price to live in
Uganda.
your country?
What is it? What is it? I'll pay it.
Can I?
I'll pay the price.
It's not a static price.
It's like a subscription.
Yes, it is a subscription.
You can be in the United States as long as you want to listen to my subscription. You pay it's like Netflix at that point.
We all have to play. If you want to play, you got to pay. That's how life is.
Okay. So let's take it to this extreme example. I want to move to Alaska, deep Alaska. Raise my own livestock, raise my own food, be self-supplement. Do I have to pay taxes at that point?
Yes, you do. But if you make no money, you can't pay taxes. Which then, you're not breaking any laws. The reason why taxes exist, and the reason why if you want to play, you have to pay system we have.
But I'm not playing on your system. I'm just minding my own business.
Question. Do you know people? Do you exist with people? Do you live in the United States? Then it doesn't matter.
So you're saying I live within this boundary, I have to pay this.
That is the price you pay.
I could be some wild man living off of beaver fucking fat.
That is the price you pay for living in a civilized country. Because you're not... Pookie, stop interrupting. Stop interrupting and let me say something before you try to interrupt. I'll be quiet when you talk. You be quiet when I talk, please. Unfortunately, the harsh reality is you have to pay taxes. The reason why you have to pay taxes is because it pays for more than just what you're thinking of, the pockets of the politicians. Taxes pay for roads. Taxes pay for healthcare. Taxes pay for infrastructure. They pay for everything from agriculture to defense. If we all chose not to pay our taxes, how in the world would all those other things work? They could be privatized. Yes, they could. And I'm all for privatization. But look at what happens when you privatize. You have the grenade situation like what happened with Blackwater in 2008. Or if you exclusively privatize with the roads. Yes, you have roads like in Florida, like the Sunshine Tollway, where you have that tollway, which is an amazing road and it's kept up to date and it works fantastic. However, that road is so expensive that when I had to take it every day, it cost me more to take that private highway than it did to actually just sit and wait in traffic. And I didn't have the funds to take that private highway every day. That's the thing. The governments provide a public service, and to provide that public service, taxation is needed. Now, unjust taxation, that's where we can agree upon. There is unjust taxation. But
yes,
taxation
like I bought food to live and to subsidize.
That's where the state's
fucked up. Tax for that.
Like Tennessee has a 10% sales tax on everything except for like gasoline and a few other things. There's a sin tax on tobacco, which most states have. But Jesus Christ, food, water? Oh no, there's not a tax on water. I only pay $1 for water. Food, water.
Oh, they will get to the point where they charge you a 1,000% tax on food. It don't even matter at this point. I honestly think that getting taxed on something is stupid. Well, I'm trying to live my life as a human being. That's a human right violation at that point.
Well, here's the next point. By 2085, the projected from the scientific community is that we're going to be in a massive water shortage. The United States is going to be in a massive water shortage. Massive, where desalination plants are going to be the primary point of water, and that is something that if you follow it, it's a huge worry that we're going to run out of water. Not just us, but most of the Western world, we're going to run out of water. Now,
that makes sense,
and that makes sense.
You're educated, though, so that makes sense to you.
That makes sense.
But why are you still having why are people still having kids at that point? That's my question.
The question here that I want to put out is we're worried about that happening by 2085, which is well within our lifetimes. That's only 60 some odd years away. But the fear.
Oh shit! 60 years from now, I'll be 90. I won't give a shit about anything at that
Yeah,
point.
at that point, just suck on a coal. But fucking, especially if I lose my mind. But fucking, at that point, we're gonna need desalination plants, and we're gonna start using water from the oceans. And there's much more repercussions. Food, like water wars, could become a real thing, like what you see in Mad Max. The reality of
There's been
taxation.
a war over resources since the beginning of mankind. Mankind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, taxes are going to Department of Agriculture, and taxes are going to the Department of Interior for programs to not just forestall it, but to stop that, to build the desalination plants.
So I'm paying
now.
someone to do something that should be done. All right, oh man, I'm gonna argue with you. We can keep going with this, but
Do you expect a private company to do that for you?
it gets to the point where I have to pay $5 for a bottle of water, and then someone can present a $1 bottle of water for me. That's how it works.
That's not what I'm asking. Do you expect a private company? Do you expect a private company like Comcast?
Oh my God! Okay. Oh God.
Do you
No.
expect
Yeah,
them?
they're all government regulated. You want to talk about Comcast? It's FCC. They have government regulate. They use government regulations to infringe on people's rights all the time. You communications. That's fine. If you want to play that game, communications. That's fine.
Hold on.
But
You're not. Once again,
they
you
have
interrupted me.
the government is regulating that shit. They use that shit.
Pookie.
They use the government regulations. Oh my God! I can't even talk right now. You can't be triggered.
Pookie, you need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and let me finish. All right. You have corporations. All the way. I said Comcast is an example. I wasn't using the cure all end all, but Comcast, Hewlett Packard, J.P. Morgan. You have major corporations out there whose interest is creating profit. Irregardless of what they do, a company's interest is creating profit. And it's even more so when it versus the public sector. The public sector, and this is where the problem lies. The public sector is no longer appealing because the public sector, who wants to work for the government? You can make doing the same thing at fucking JP Morgan $300,000 more dollars. There's a problem, and there's a lack of good people because people chase the money, which is what my generation and your generation is doing. They're chasing the money. They chase the money. They go after the money, and the public sector hurts. Now we have all of these representatives, also Republicans, my bad. All these representatives, all of these congressmen, senators, judges, etc., that got elected, not the ones that got appointed, but elected. All of them are in there, and they're in there, and they're in there, and they're in there, and no one's stepping up. And now we have a president, tying this back to President Trump. We have a president that historically, back when he ran a company, did not choose to do the easy thing because his main thing was real estate. He did not choose to do the easy thing. He fought his battles. The flag one was always my favorite. The flag one in Florida, where he raised the land and put it on a 30-foot, raised the land 30 feet and then put it on a 30-foot flagpole. Put the American flag on a 30-foot flagpole from there. But now he's in the highest position, and he's still treating it like a company. And it's not. The wall, which you've heard me say it before in the past, the wall is not feasible. Why? Oh yeah, airplanes. Explain to me when 76%
God,
of
have you ever went through customs?
Yes.
Have you like legit customs, like coming internationally customs? Have you ever been through it?
Yes.
Like you sneeze sideways, you're getting detained for like at least like
18 hours
minutes.
in John F. Kennedy Airport. Yes.
Yes.
I know how bad customs can get. But it's
so you keep arguing that people can come over the wall through an airplane, but then you sneeze sideways, you get detained till you get figured out.
How many airstrips in the United States?
Oh God! Oh fuck, dude! That's just an insane number, man. I can't even fucking comprehend that.
Do you think you could have a customs agent at every single airport? At every single
We
airstrip?
don't. Oh my God, dude! You're arguing something.
They
But
just
that's the reality. I'm not arguing
But
something that.
okay, all right. Well,
That's the
don't
reality.
build the wall. How many pounds of fentanyl come across the goddamn border if we didn't build the wall? You want to
If they were
argue
coming
that
across, if
way?
they
I
were
can
coming
argue that
across
way
the
with
land,
you.
okay, we're gonna bring out KJ's criminal element. Let's be realistic here, dude. When I was doing some stupid shit as a teenager, I never fucking transported anything in my car. I never carried it anywhere. Fuck no.
No, of course, it's just common sense.
So why would
American.
you
Okay,
carry
that's an American
fentanyl
thing to
or
do.
weed or cocaine or heroin across the border? No, you'd fucking throw it. You'd hide it in fucking titties. You'd hide it in fucking boats. You'd hide it in planes because you can
Yeah.
A, put more product in, and B,
So that was the easiest way to get across. Did you ever do that through the airplane method?
dude, I was fucking running weed up and down fucking a county. That's all I
You're
was doing.
talking about weed. I'm talking about fentanyl and shit like that, like kilos of shit. What's the easiest way to get a kilo of cocaine in the United States right now?
Easiest way?
The easiest way.
Buy it.
You can no. The easiest way to get it into the continental United States. What's the easiest way to do it?
Boat or plane?
Or across the border through a mule?
Except, and this is a huge misconception. You want to put up a wall, great. You have to build the wall, man
Find
the
the
wall,
wall on the southern border. I don't give a shit about that because
and then you
know
have,
what?
and then you have. Here's the next part. You're gonna piss off ecologists. You're gonna piss off scientists. You're gonna piss off contractors. You're gonna piss off people
What
who
they
live
can-
there. You're gonna
that's
piss off
bullshit.
so many
That's
people.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
It's not bullshit because people live on the border. El Paso.
Dude, I had a friend of mine that lived on the border between two counties. His house bordered between the two of it. He had to go through a legal battle between which county he wanted to be in, and it's stupid. Yes, there's the bureaucracy to shit, but you, as a nation, a sovereign nation. Okay, let's take it.
Walls
I'm gonna take
worked in
this.
the
I'm gonna
past when we
take
were
it to the
landlocked.
extreme right now.
Walls worked in the
The
past when we
extreme.
were landlocked. That's the reality. Walls work
Okay.
when you're landlocked.
Cross from South Korea and North Korea. See what happens.
That's no. Now you're taking my words and misconstruing them.
No.
I'm
Cross
talking
from Iraq
historically.
into Iran. See what
I'm talking
happens.
historically. Walls worked when we were
No,
landlocked. The minute
historically, like they're sovereign nations, they're allowed to defend their border.
that's not
I
what
know
I'm saying.
there's countries that if you try to step into the border, you get a bullet in the back of the head.
Pookie, you're taking my words and misconstruing them.
Guys,
Come on, man.
do me a favor. Take a breath.
I love you, Pookie.
Man, we get heated, but border control is a big thing, man. And if you don't do it as a sovereign nation, you lose your nation.
I'm not saying don't do it, but what
You're
I'm
trying.
saying,
No, you're trying to trigger each other, and I know you feed off each other. Okay, but one, take a breath, and two, be a little bit more helpful with keeping it in a position of good debate, not going after each other or throwing things out that's going to make each other get in a position of personal.
I'm not saying border control, and border protecting your borders is a negative. What I'm saying is with the wall, is that you have.
What is wrong with the wall, though?
Please, Pookie. I'm trying to say
I
that.
want to hear it. I want to hear why is a wall so bad. I've been asking people this forever.
I'm trying to say that, and you're not letting me finish. The wall in and of itself, yes, it would create temporary jobs, and it would create permanent jobs. But the problem is, look at where they want to build the wall first and foremost. First and foremost, that goes through several national parks. It goes through mountains. It goes through cities, people's homes. Can you imagine if someone walked up to your house right now and said, "Hey man, sorry, we know you've lived here for 50, 60 years." But that's the first
Dude, look up Shenandoah National Park. Look how that national park got made. Look at it. If you haven't, Shenandoah, they stole land from people
Okay.
just because they want a national
And
park.
now in this day and age, let's see the government in the day and age where information can be shared instantaneously. Let's see the government get away with kicking people out of their homes just to build an already controversial wall.
Actually, what, John, Al, what's the Constitution that says that if the state takes land from you, they have to pay you? There is a Constitution.
Eminent domain.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Spanky comes out of nowhere. Boom.
Hi,
Makes me not
Spanky.
sound like an idiot.
Call Spanky.
You have eminent domain, you do. And what happened to people of Shenandoah National Park? Yes, it's
Pay 'em.
atrocious. It's horrible.
It's too easy. It's too easy to pay people for the land.
Yeah, and you can pay people for the land, but you're going to get those people that don't want to move. You're going to get those, and then you have
That's fine.
and then you have the second thing, which is the actual security issue. You need to build this structure where across it the entire way, from point to point, you need to have it manned in some capacity, be it electronic, be it physical. You need to have it manned. And then with having it manned,
We already have it manned right now
Hold
like
on.
that. Do you know? Like, we got drones that fly over that shit.
yes, I know. But now you have a physical structure that's changed countless areas. Remember, we already went over ecological and terrain. So it's going over mountains, it's going through national parks, it's going through rivers, it's going through cities, people's homes, etc. Now you have this structure that's going through all of that stuff already. Now we're going to say that's already been built, and now you have to make sure that across all of that, where you already have some natural borders, you already have some natural things that prevent people from going that way, which has led to the rise, which has led to the prominence of illegal immigration and drug running by plane and boat.
Oh,
That's where the reality comes in of you have to use a lot of manpower, be it using drones and people operating the drones and rotating on and off the drones and cycling them and fixing them, be it through patrol.
for fuck's sake, that's going on right now with the war on drugs right now, and we're not controlling a border. We're just allowing drugs to come across that. If you want to argue that's acceptable, man.
I'm not. Listen, I'm against the wall because economically, it costs way too much.
Oh my
I'm
God,
against
we could take our military fucking budget, like a quarter of our military budget, and build a fucking wall
But then
for national defense.
But then if we take that money from the DoD, all right, and we'll go with that. We take it from the DoD, okay?
This is a school. What were they gonna get? The shitty M16s next year? That always happens, man.
Pookie, please.
I mean, I'm old school. Sorry, I'm used to the brigade snatching the fucking good shit just because they want to hold on to it. I mean,
I never had
just,
that. I never had that problem. I got an ACOG and the new PEC style.
That's cute. That's cute.
It's fucking. I had good leadership. Fucking. I don't know what happened with your unit when you were in. But what I'm saying is we'll say however much the wall costs. I think it was like 136 billion or something like that. I know it's 136 something illion. Please, if you know the exact number, let me know. But it's you take
a bazillion gazillion.
We'll take an arbitrary number. How about that? An arbitrary number. $1 billion. $1 billion.
I would like to see like a legit number. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but hypothetically, $1 billion out of the DoD budget, and we're all making it relative now, so it's easy numbers. With that $1 billion, and all of a sudden.
They could have took the whole entire F-35 program and scrapped it and built a wall.
They could scrap the F-35 program. They're not going to, but they could. They could scrap a lot of things DoD-wise to make up money for this.
Better than,
but even then, there's more things that I feel, and this is me, that I feel our country's money could be spent on better. One of those things is education. Another one of those things.
No, I totally agree with you on that. Holy fucking shit, man.
Look at Canada. We don't have the same kind of problem. like we do in the South. Why? Because we have the Canadian border. Dude,
How many Americans are escaping to Canada, though? That's my question.
Yes, but also there's plenty of Americans that are running to Canada. Plenty. And there's plenty of other citizens of other countries. Sorry, I need a drink. That are running to Canada through America. Make no mistake. But what happens?
So Canada is having an immigration policy issue with Americans escaping into Canada right now. Is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying there are people that do it. I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm saying there are people that do it. But the issue on the northern...
Our whole border has been exposed.
Poogie, are you going to...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is there's cooperation between our northern friends and us. Whereas in Mexico, there is cooperation. But the issue is that you don't have the complete cooperation like we do with Canada. We don't have full support. We don't have people that are 100% like, oh my God, yeah, these people are running. Because look at what's coming from Mexico. Everyone knows what's coming, where they're running from. If they're trying to illegally immigrate, then they're already in a shitty spot. Especially,
I understand. I understand. Like, I got a shitty situation, right? I'm running from it. I would love for another country to provide that for me. I would love that. But what would you do at the extent of your own home country to dissolve that shit, man? At the point where it turns into the other shithole.
Unfortunately, before we do house cleaning, I'm going to say this. The United States is born from immigrants. And when we build that wall in a day and age where a wall can only be a symbol and that's it. When you have planes, when you have boats, when you have the ability to tunnel, when you have all of these things that are now commercially available. When you have...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where did humanity evolve?
Where did humanity evolve?
Yes. I don't care about your, like, scientifically wise, like your religious belief, whatever. But according to science, where did humanity evolve?
We started in southern Egypt.
Okay.
And that country
So everyone is a migrant at one point.
Yes, everyone's a migrant. Everyone.
Okay.
Am I saying open border? No. But what I'm saying is the wall is a gross misappropriation of funds that could be better spent on proper immigration reform, on proper border control. A wall. Walls worked when we couldn't get in the air and when we couldn't move quickly over water. Walls worked. But now, when you have the Javelin missile system, when you have the ITAS system, when you have the M200 intervention sniper rifle system, when you have weapons and you have people that can reach out and just knock it down, or even further, you have a plane, Cessnas, Gulfstreams, that are 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 160,000, 200,000, 500,000.
Or you could pay Facebook that much money to understand their infiltration system to your border and save trillions of dollars. Holy shit.
You kind of broke up on me on that one, Pookie. Like, legitimately, you broke up.
No, I'm just ranting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Legal immigrants helped build the USA. Well, so did illegal ones. That's the reality. Legal and illegal ones, and illegal ones eventually became legal. They chose to. They wanted to live here and they became legal. And the illegal ones that don't want to become legal, they leave. I see what you're saying. The wall helps to deter the riffraff. The wall makes it desirable. The wall makes
Name one caveman caveman community that has survived throughout entire of human history. It's still here today.
Oh, I got one.
Survived.
I got one actually.
Oh, that's cool. I would love that because preserve that. That is human history right there. No, leave them alone. Let them do their thing because
North
those
Sentinel
guys that like when the meteorite strikes on the side of Earth.
North Sentinel Island is
There you go.
a banned island off the coast of India that the humans living there have not been touched by outside civilization for, they estimate, thousands of years. Now, the
That's
United
legit,
States,
man.
and I don't understand what North Sentinel Island has to do with it, but the reality is, we are a nation founded on immigrants, illegal and legal. Unfortunately, that is what it is. And the minute we rebelled from the United Kingdom, the minute we rebelled from Britain, we became illegal. We became illegal immigrants. Our founding fathers did something illegal.
Yeah.
Technically, we were a country board of criminals before Australia. Technically, I'm not saying that's the harsh truth, but that's the reality. You know, it's something of, you build a wall, great. It's a wall, outstanding. Works, and Heath is saying Mexico has a wall with Guatemala that works very well. If it did, then the cocaine would stop coming out of Colombia. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry, Pookie. But when you add a plane or a helicopter,
That's fine. That's fine and gentle, but if I can pull it across the desert, do you understand? Holy shit! What the fuck was that? Anyways, do you understand that, like, these people will force people to go across the deserts of these places? Like, I would never do that ever if you could pay me to do
you're
it.
focusing on drug running. You're focusing on the cartels.
Yes.
I'm not
Drug
just
running
talking
and
about.
cartels has been part of, like, not enforcing our border. We could stop the drug war. First of all, first off, drug war is stupid. I mean, you can agree on this shit, but whatever.
That's what Mexico is run off of right now. Is
drug war,
criminal element for the most part. If we actually could get along, you're right. I agree with you. If we got along with Mexico like we do Canada, we wouldn't be in this situation. The problem is Mexico wants what we have. They want the jobs. They want the money.
And with that being said, we're going to move on to housekeeping because it's that time of the night, guys. Let's end it with Owl. Yeah. All right, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember that we have some incredible guests coming up next week on April 3rd for Tied Up Tuesday. We have David Cunner from Honor Winery and Honor Brewing Company. He's a partner at Honor Winery and Honor Brewery with over 15 years of experience in the hospitality industry. He's brought his passion for wine and devotion to all those who served in the U.S. military by creating the Honor Winery and Brewing Company. He's held leadership and equity roles in successful hospitality companies such as J-Tech Communications, a subsidiary of Micros Corporation, OpenTable.com, Fishbowl Marketing, and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, my favorite steakhouse that I can't afford. I like their motto, too. A glass raised of honor is always a glass raised in honor. I love it. That's pretty cool. That's badass. Next Friday, for Friday Night Freedom, we have singer and Navy veteran Jerry Ann Saylor. She's a Navy vet from Minnesota. While serving in the U.S. Navy, she worked as an aviation mechanic on FA-18s with the VFA-83 Rampagers. She started playing guitar and singing for the long-term care at the VA and in veteran support groups. And in April of 2017, she wrote and posted the Hallelujah Veterans version. Since then, it's been viewed over 103 million times and downloaded in 22 countries. She's been busy writing and in the studio ever since. Strong is her new single, and it was released on June 16th, 2017. Jerry has a album due to release in April of this year. So if you want to look up that song, Strong, by Jerry Ann Saylor. Also, please don't forget to check out our partners and affiliates, War Horses for Veterans. Always doing awesome things, giving you a weekend experience with the horses, where you can just hang out, have some Midwestern food, learn how to ride, learn how to lasso, and really have a generally good time. I know Red Leg Ice went out there, Jay Reddy's been out there. Eventually, I'll make my way out there. That's where I'm gonna. See, I don't know how many times you heard it out, but I'm really fucking terrified of horses. I don't do horses, man. It's bees, the ocean, and horses. That's it. I'm good with 50 cows. I'm good with explosions, but bees, horses, and I'm hoping to go to War Horses for Veterans and learn how to ride a horse and get over that.
Well, the whole thing is, I'm sure if you tell them that, the more they'll help you out just to, put you to the vicinity of one of the horses that are well trained, and they'll just come up, and you'll be able to understand that they're not there to hurt you.
I like that one that Jay Reddy was showing off. I showed that to my wife, and just, oh god, I don't remember the breed of it, but it was just a beautiful horse. I'm like, that is my war horse. That is the one I'd ride in a barrel with an AR-15 with donkey nuts on it, and then my tomahawk in my other hand, just scalping bodies and laying hate. Also, don't forget to check out Project Overwatch. They do a lot of veteran and local Leo assistance. Project Overwatch is all entirely non-for-profit, so every dollar you donate to help them goes directly to their programs for law enforcement, for for their veteran support, and for their support of fire departments. Generally, an amazing organization to help our brothers and sisters across all the lines. And finally, every Saturday there's a wonderful show called The Veterans Report. If you haven't checked them out, definitely click on their link in the description above. And the Veterans Report is thank you, computer, work with me here. Veterans Report is a veteran show that talks about everything from important veteran news and legislation to talking about the general state of the Department of Veteran Affairs. If it happens and involves veterans, the Veteran Reports is going to be talking about it on their show. And be sure to click their link, give them a like, and tune into them over in Pennsylvania. Also, please, we have a show every night of the week. Feel free, join us. We have on Mondays our flagship show, the Monday edition with Ice. And on Tuesdays, we have at noon, it'll be coming back shortly, I promise you. I just got to get up to New Hampshire. Please forgive me. Once I get settled in, I'll have the show back up, but I'll have Taco Truck back up shortly. And that's every Tuesday and Thursday at noon Eastern. Then at 2000, we have Tied Up Tuesdays with Minx and Grey Cloud. Wednesdays is a Donza for WTF Nation Radio. But you can go over and check out WTF Nation Gaming, our gaming channel.
Gaming. Check the gaming chat, man.
Check out our gaming channel. We'll hang out. We'll shoot some stuff. And Far Cry 5. Oh, my God, Far Cry 5.
Where KJ and Hodor have themselves a good old time.
Oh, yeah. I get triggered playing PUBG. Thursdays, we have Sergeant's Time with addresses current Army issues within the active duty Army community with ICE and Doc Madness and the whole gang. Fridays, we have Friday Night Freedom with your usual host, which would be Minx and Mud Puppy, but we've got Minx and Pookie on for now. Saturdays, we have the most savage night of radio, Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie, which, oh my God, you guys have been on point. You guys have been on point.
Your tinfoil hat has been having all sorts of fun.
I mean, when you drop it out, it makes sense. It's all good, man.
And then Sundays is a true Donza for everybody. We're all taking Sundays off and
longer Donza.
What's up?
I challenge all y'all from the WTF Nation.
To what?
Sunday is no longer.
I bet you won't.
AJ.
What?
Sunday is no longer a Donza.
What?
You have Kicking It With Cause.
Kicking It With Cause? What?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Holy shit. Cause. Oh,
I'm sorry, Cause. I didn't know. I apologize. Forgive me.
Kicking It With Cause, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to be up. He's going to be up for 2 hours. I'm his co-host. And we're going to be basically going after revamping or going over the week, talking about what's coming up, and also just talking about fun shit that you pick up, the stupid stories, the silly laws, and whatever else comes up.
That sounds wonderful.
The whole idea is to put a smile on your face.
Now, Cause, I know you're listening, but you gotta have like smooth jazz and like a fireplace sound effect playing in the background, because that's what I imagine is a nice little glass of whiskey with Cause and Owl, smooth jazz in the background.
The whole idea is, and I'm gonna put it out there. We're always hearing about all the negative or all the things that are going on in the world, and sometimes it just really is hard to smile. And the whole idea is on Sunday, why not have a good smile on your face? A good way to start your week.
Dude, that's perfect. I didn't. Oh man, I feel so bad because I wasn't tracking that. I'm sorry, Dad.
Don't worry about it, because believe it or not, every day this week, it's been forgotten.
But yeah, oh man, dude, Pookie, I love arguing with you. It's always fun. You make my nights. And Owl, it is a huge pleasure. I can't wait to get you on to Taco Truck at some point, just to hang out and BS.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see what. Right now they don't have me scheduled, but that's mainly because.
Oh, you're welcome whenever, man. You got the time. Hop on.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, right now, mainly because of your family thing. That's the only reason she didn't schedule me.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. Well, I think that's what we're gonna call it for tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate y'all chilling. And, what? Huh?
I said yep. I'm being stupid, sir.
Word. Oh, that being said, I wish y'all a good night and shots.
Just be safe, fuckers.
Oh yeah, real quick. Weekend safety brief. Oh shit. Don't fuck her without a condom. Don't fuck her if she says no. Don't forget your PT belts when you go running at night. And for the love of fucking God, do not stick your dick in the vacuum.
No skinny dipping without your Kevlar.
Make sure to carry your condom.
And the battalion commander's daughter is off limits always, except on Saturdays when she turns 18.
Yes.
Night, guys.
Like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box like I'm inside Fort Knox every time that I'm there. I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. I see it like you need, I need it like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always